All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Market Close. Boy, oh boy, has some stuff happened in the past 4 hours since the market opened. We're going to be going through all that stuff today. Trump said some stuff. Elon said some stuff. Yes, we're early. 3:44. We're on time. We're here. It's a new era, bro. I'm going to be here early now every day. And soon I'm going to be here 3, 4, 5 minutes early and just trip everybody up. But we have been early for the past couple of days now, and we're here today. We will have Technical Tuesday as well in a little bit, and in about like 30 minutes, and so we'll get through all the technicals. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about before Technical Tuesday, and it has to do with what's going on, not only the markets, which are basically flat. I mean, SOFI, unfortunately, maybe in the last 15 minutes we get above 20, is not really holding 20. Tesla did get to 302, not really holding 302. S&P just went red as I'm pulling it up right here. SOFI does have a shot. I mean, it was at 1950 a couple minutes ago, right now at 1984. So maybe in the next few minutes we can break above that 20. S&P flat on the day. It is red, but flat. Tesla did get to 304, right back down to 296, maybe based on some Elon comments that we'll talk about. Google flat. Grab down 3% of the day, Reddit down 5%, Amazon down 2%, Meta is flat. There is a new update on Meta that we'll talk about. Palantir actually green, 139. It's been red most of the day, and then Robinhood as well, red down 2%. So nothing too crazy. NVIDIA is green, which is nice. I mean, it was at 160 at one point right here. It's at 159.84. So that's up about 1% on the day. But outside of that, nothing too crazy in terms of what's been going on across a lot of these stocks. Now, what happened in the past couple of hours? First of all, let's just talk about what Trump said. Number one, he said Fed Chair Powell should resign immediately. And literally 5 minutes ago, he then tweeted that Powell should be cutting rates for the 15,000th time, as if Powell hasn't heard him by now. So you got Trump reiterating his point around Powell. He then said, we have issues in Texas. I can't believe you're still asking about Epstein. We'll look at that in a second. He then said the EU has been speaking to us very nicely. And he also said, I may impose harsher tariffs at 60 to 70%. He's trying to like double down on this August 1st deadline. Obviously, the street does not believe that August 1st is actually the deadline. Trump in this morning said that August 1st is not really a deadline, but then he said it is a deadline. And then he just tweeted this right now that Jerome Powell, who's been whining like a baby about non-existent inflation for the past months and refusing to do the right thing, is doing the wrong thing. Cut interest rates right now, Jerome. Now is the time. So what has been Elon's response to everything going on? Well, Elon's been saying some things as well. And one of the first things he said today is one of Trump's confidants, one of his, like, you could call him best friends or call him the person who's going to vouch for him forever, is in the Epstein files. He says Steve Bannon, the guy who called for Elon to be deported back to South Africa a month ago, is in the Epstein files. Now, Elon might be just saying this and throwing out these accusations without any proof, which is not a very good thing to accuse someone of this. Or Elon might know something that the rest of us don't know. Remember, when Elon did say that Trump was in the Epstein files, he said, mark this post, the truth will come out eventually. He then deleted it for whatever reasons, maybe because he was lying or maybe because he just wanted to mend over the relationship. But based on what happened today, it definitely gets you thinking why Trump is as upset as he is and as aggressive as he is. He's getting these questions, and these questions aren't really the most friendly about Epstein. Here's a 50-second clip going back to the Lex Friedman podcast when Trump was asked about Epstein, and the converse of what happened today when he was asked about Epstein as well.
A lot of big people went to that island, but fortunately, I was not one of them.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah. It's very interesting, isn't it? Probably will be, by the way. Probably.
So if you're able to, you'll be.
Yeah, I'd certainly take a look at it. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time.
So, I mean, that was Trump's response. Apparently, they had a cabinet meeting today. I didn't know they had a cabinet meeting, but he was pretty pissed off with people asking him about Epstein. And then after that, Elon tweets, how can people be expected to have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files? And then someone asked him, would the America Party, would you release them if you win in the America Party? And Elon said yes. So, I mean, it has been back and forth in Elon and Trump all day. Obviously, I mean, I just can't sugarcoat it. Like, it feels suspicious as hell that the administration, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, all these guys that rose to popularity after convincing the MAGA base of them getting to the bottom of this, somehow, for some reason, don't care anymore. I mean, it is quite flabbergasting. And I don't think anyone has a definitive grasp on why exactly that's the case, but it feels like something is up. So that's why I think Tesla actually took a little bit of a breather, basically going flat now. I mean, it might end up a little bit positive on the day, but it is red from 304 is because when Elon started tweeting this stuff, the market perception was, okay, regardless of what's going on with Epstein, this is bad for Elon and Trump to be in beef again. And any excitement that was there in the morning is now kind of getting cut off. On top of that, you had Dan Ives. We looked at Dan Ives' suggestion this morning about what Elon should be doing, and it included setting up like a micromanaged way to figure out how many hours Elon should be working every single day, and making sure that he's not political. And Elon said, shut up, Dan. Elon said, shut up, Dan. Now, look, I'm a fan of Dan Ives. He's a friend of the channel. I like him as an analyst, but I do think it was a little ridiculous to say that we should be monitoring the world's best CEO in terms of how many hours he clocks in to be spending time on Tesla. And Elon had enough of it today, and he said, shut up. Here's what Dan Ives had to say in response to that.
Shut up, Dan. Now, the best part about this is the first thing you suggest here clears a path for a merger with Musk's other company, XAI. Obviously, then some guardrails, oversight on political endeavors. Just elaborate a little bit on why you think it's all necessary.
Look, I mean, this soap opera, I think, has taken on a life of its own. And I think that, look, the board's the only one that could step in to set guardrails. So our whole view is hearing from shareholders the last, 48 hours, patience is wearing thin. There's exhaustion. I think when you look at the three things, I mean, one, we talk about give them 25% voting control. And I think that's important because that would clear the path.
What does he have right now?
So if you look 14%,
okay.
15%, but 25% is very important because that would essentially get him to what I ultimately view as a merger with XAI. And I think that's something a lot of investors want to see.
Why is that so important that he could merge with XAI? It sounds like another distraction practically.
Sure, maybe at first glance, but I think the reality is that would create an AI stalwart. And I think the whole thing here from Musk is to have all of his AI ecosystem under one hood.
To help Tesla specifically, or just in, because
regardless of if that's going to help Tesla, Elon had enough of him today. And Elon's been pretty friendly to Dan Ives. Dan Ives is one of the only analysts on the street who's been bullish for the past 5 years, or going back to 2018. And even Elon today was like, dude, you're not going to monitor the amount of time I spend at Tesla. And some people that are really upset at how Elon's been acting, maybe they think that these suggestions that Dan Ives had today are the right ways to have a CEO run the company. And for a lot of CEOs, maybe they are. For Elon Musk, I don't know. I don't know if that's the right way. And definitely Elon did not feel like that today. Regardless of everything going on with Elon and Tesla, still SpaceX has increased their valuation from $350 billion to $400 billion in a new share sale, probably in the secondary markets. So if you have any Robinhood tokens from, oh, by the way, Vlad clarified, they bought $1 million worth of OpenAI in SpaceX. I thought they was about $1 million. They bought $1 million of OpenAI in SpaceX before they gave out the tokens because they need to back up the tokens 1-to-1. And if you got €5 of SpaceX, it's up a little bit today as the valuation has gone from 350 to 400 billion. So even with all the brand damage, even with all the issues surrounding Elon being political, there are investors out there in the private market saying we are willing to pay 400 billion for SpaceX. We don't care that Elon's kind of risking his de facto contract value inside of the United States federal government. That's why Rocket Lab's been getting a bit of a bid. Rocket Lab, by the way, great move today. Rocket Lab right here. It's back at 38.65, but it did hit 39.94. It was 5 cents away from, or 6 cents away from 40. Nonetheless, investors are still willing to buy SpaceX. So at the end, although Tesla is, obviously in a little bit of a rut based on some of the stuff that's going on with Elon and Trump, this is the new normal for Tesla. And if you own Tesla, it's going to be volatile. It is going to be volatile as we navigate this. NVIDIA, do we get 160? NVIDIA 159.99. Not too bad. We hit 160.22. I think NVIDIA, it's obvious it wants to get to 4 trillion. It's at 164 more bucks. We get to 4 trillion. It's just going to be a question of when. The street's going to make us, the street's not, going to let us get it, I think, tomorrow, but they know it's happening. And the sooner it happens, the cooler it would be. But it looks like we will get the world's first $4 trillion company hopefully soon. Here is what Tom Lee had to say. He was on CNBC just about 30 minutes ago. Here are his thoughts about the Fed and if we should be cutting rates right now or not.
So I think earnings growth is actually still intact.
Sure, we are going to have earnings growth. Growth is intact at far slower levels than we were once thinking.
However, we also know that ISM has been below 50 for 29 months, a record period below 50. And that is highly correlated with S&P forward growth. So if we get the tariffs issue settled and the Fed breathes a sigh of relief, starts cutting, and the ISM moves above 50, I think earnings estimates for next year actually go up.
So you think the Fed coming in and cutting is because they can, not because they have to?
That's right. I think the easiest way for the viewers to understand is Europe uses the thing called HICP as their core inflation, harmonized inflation, which excludes shelter. It's running at 1.9%, and they have a 2.5% ECB rate. If you use this,
cut like 10 times.
Correct. And if you use the U.S. measurement the same way, excludes shelter, because Europe's core inflation excludes shelter, U.S. core inflation is 1.9, and the Fed's at 4.5, 200 basis points higher than the ECB, using the exact same inflation basket.
So you think that the Fed should already be cutting?
Yes. I would say that on that measurement, because I'm not the Fed and I don't do policy, but by that measurement,
no. You can't fall back on that after you just lay out your whole formula as to why they should, that rate should be markedly lower than where they are now.
Okay, then maybe I'd say if I looked at where the 2-year was, like which Jeff Gunlock cites, the Fed is for like 3 or 4 cuts behind, yes.
Well, how many do you think we're going to get this year?
Well, I think the market's pricing in 2.6. So like, let's say 2 is likely, but that still doesn't seem like enough cutting given where inflation is tracking.
So if we're 6,200, we'll call it today on the S&P, what's likely for the end of the year, do you think? What's reasonable? Not likely. You don't need to make an exact number call from me, but what sounds reasonable to you?
Well, so I would advance the argument that the PE should be going up because we had 6 black swans and the market has proven the resilience.
Going up to what? We're like, what are we, 22 times now, aren't we?
21 and a half.
Sorry, I overestimated by a half.
Yeah, but the median is only 16.8.
But that speaks a lot to what got us here in the first place. You've had this massive, large stock rally, right?
Yeah.
So
so I might say, hey, why not the other 493 get a 2 turns multiple increase, and you'd be 6,800-ish.
Can you do that if there are questions about the resilience of the economy at this point?
I think so, because financials, industrials are interest rate sensitive, so I think they would actually reflate on the idea the Fed would be cutting. And there's a lot of tech that actually still has reasonable multiples, and of course we know the cyclicals and the semis would still rise. So yes, I think a lot could rally.
So, I mean, you got Tom Lee making the kind of same argument he's been making for the past couple of weeks now in this V-shaped recovery, which is that as interest rates come down, there will be an explicit focus on interest rate sensitive companies like financials and technology. NVIDIA right here, 160, that will get a tailwind as rates come down if they can live up to the earnings expectations. And from, I think, a lot of the indications we've seen over the past couple of weeks, there should be a shot that those companies can live up to those expectations. We got 2 minutes until the market close. A couple more headlines. We'll have Jason on in 15 minutes to get into technicals. Last story right here before the market close. Meta spends $3.5 billion. They probably spent more on all these engineers they recruited from OpenAI in Esligor Luxottica, the world's largest eyewear company and the owner, the parent company of Ray-Bans. So Meta could increase its stake to over 5% over time. That is kind of the terms and conditions of the deal. But they put $3.5 billion into the parent company of Ray-Bans. And so I think this is solidifying Meta's argument around, hey, we are going to build the next computing platform for the next generation. It's not going to be the phone. It's not going to be the iPad. It's going to be glasses. I am a bit skeptical on glasses being like the major next computing platform, but Meta taking a $3.5 billion stake. I mean, this could really, we can't deny this could, take a little bit of a chunk out of the earnings just from a margin perspective in terms of how much Meta has been spending. But nonetheless, if they're able to pull it off and able to get an ROI on it, then it won't be the worst thing in the world. SOFI, we got 20 seconds until the market closes, 30 seconds. Do we get the $20 close? Let's see. We're at 1994. Still been an incredible day for SOFI, regardless of if it gets that $20 close. It got to $20.89. Got about 20 seconds here. Let's see if it gets it. Amazing. If not, still an incredible day. We got a bunch more stories to talk about. Bitcoin right there, 108.8 as well. Not a bad day for Bitcoin, and the S&P 500 is basically going to end flat on the day at 620.40 as we end out this market close on Tuesday. All right, there we go. Tuesday, July 8th, 4 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for being here. The stock market is now closed. SOFI does not get 20, but it gets pretty damn close, 1995. NVIDIA does get 160 for the first time ever on a close. I don't think we closed at 160 on Thursday. I think we closed at like 159-ish or something. We got the close at 160 on NVIDIA for the first time ever in history. $3.87 trillion market cap. We're about $250 billion away from $4 trillion, 164. But it's coming up. It is coming up. Tesla right here, 297, up about 1.2% of the day. Palantir up about 0.35. Hoodie got to 98 at one point, then got hit. It's like they don't want it to get back to 100 yet. I think it's inevitable we will get there, but taking a bit of a breather, down 2.32% on the day. S&P basically flat, even with Trump introducing more tariffs today on different countries. Markets didn't care. Markets were ready to move on. AMD right here, 137. That was up 2%. SoFi up 3.74. Google, 174. Grab down about 2.8%. Reddit down 4. Amazon down 2. There was a note in the morning that Amazon's first 5 hours of Prime Day was 14% lower in terms of the volume of sales than last year. We still have about 72 hours left to kind of see how it turns out to work. My mom just came back from work, so I think she'll boost up those sales pretty quickly. But nonetheless, Amazon right here was down about 1.82% of the day. ELF down 4%, PayPal down 1.5%, Salesforce up 1.82%, Apple 210, that was flat, SMCI, that was up actually 4.2%, Bitcoin 108, Surf Air Mobility, I know a lot of you guys have been talking about that one, 35% on the day, BT, Ethereum Treasury, 7% on the day, BMNR, 5% on the day. Wow, they're trading together. Some of these Ethereum Treasuries are trading together. These were up like 30% in the morning. SBET took a little bit of an opposite direction, 27%. But, yeah, SBET right there. That one was green on the day. MicroStrategy 396, ASTS 45. HIMS did get over 50 at one point, came down to 49.05, but still up 1.3% of the day. Uber all-time highs at 97.55. And then you got the S&P right there, 620.5 on the day. That's what we got. That's what we got on today's stock market. Yes, today is Prime Day for the next couple of days. Today is Prime Day as well. And so I think we'll get the numbers. The street's estimating about 24 billion in sales. Hopefully Amazon gets well above that, but we're going to have to see over the next coming days kind of what these sales look like. And based on all the credit card data that a lot of these firms track, we should be getting it pretty soon. So I would imagine in the next coming days, we will see what happens with Amazon. For those asking why I didn't change, is because the outfit is not crazy. Okay. The outfit is not crazy. It got roasted on Twitter today because Jason posted a picture of it. And let's just say some of these tweets were a little bit bizarre. I think someone just tweeted that, admit your outfit looks like ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT how to design an outfit. That was a good one. The person in the morning who said, do you even own a mirror? That was also a really good one. But no, I just stayed with the outfit. I don't care. I stayed with the outfit. I went outside into the world with the outfit today. It is what it is. Jason should be on soon. And yeah, Chad was like, does your sweatshirt have little airplanes on it? I was like, yes, it does. He was like, cool. I like airplanes, but you look like a toddler dressed you. I was like, all right, Chad. Whatever. Okay, a couple more headlines. Actually, let's finish up with Tom Lee, then we'll get into some other headlines. I think Jason will be here in about 10, 15 minutes, and then we will get into technicals for Technical Tuesday. But let's finish up with Tom Lee, and then we will go from there.
The knocks on the.
Let me share this right here.
Rally itself is that many stocks, as we're talking, it plays right into that story. Outside of the S&P 500 are not hitting new highs. This record-setting rally would have you believe that everything is going up, when in fact it really hasn't, and certainly not at the same pace, and not even close.
Yes. Well, people always find quibbles with new highs, but we also know that for an institutional asset manager, it is not really excusable to be bearish when the market makes a new all-time high. So in other words, the institutions now have to start adding risk to if we're making all-time high, because it's a new bull market.
Oh, okay.
So we talked about that in the morning, right? Like if you're an institution and you've raised hundreds of millions of dollars and you tell your clients we're not going to be allocating the capital that they pay you 1 or 2% AUM fees to manage, and then you don't even outperform the S&P 500, which is only up 5-6% year to date because you missed the entirety of the rally, they're taking their money out of your fund. And so the only thing you have left to do is hope to God there's a massive crash, which we already had one in April. It's hard to imagine that happening again, or deploy. And if you got to deploy, that means you got to buy NVIDIA at 160. And for those of us that bought NVIDIA at 100, you get to enjoy. Or you got to buy SOFI at 20. And if you bought SOFI at 13, you get to enjoy. You got to buy Palantir at 140. You bought Palantir at 60 during the dip, you get to enjoy. And that is another thing to Tom Lee's thesis on why this bull market can continue.
So we're going to get FOMO. That's going to be the next leg, is the FOMO trade?
I believe that is driving capitalism. Yes. So a component of it is FOMO.
But I mean, if you said institutions, you know, hedge funds have been more negative, right? They don't want to be negative and miss the whole thing. So presumably that negativity would turn itself as the fear of missing what could be, in your mind, a much stronger next leg even from here.
That's right. And it's merely a reorientation of perception, because the market's only up 5% year to date, but we could be up 10. So only half of the full year gains have been realized. So if someone had fresh eyes on the market and knows there's Fed being dovish and tariff risks are abating and multiples could expand, I think people could find many stocks to buy.
Okay. Well, you stay with us. We will.
So that's what you got. That's what you got from Mr. Tom Lee. I mean, the thesis, you know, when he talks about FOMO, it's not like the craziest argument in the world. It's a very simple argument. If we are in a bull market and if earnings growth surprises to the upside like it did in Q1, if it at least even comes in line, you can't be bearish. Or as like an institutional money manager, you can keep hoping for a recession, but hope is not a strategy. Like at some point you have to deploy. And if you don't, and that money is collecting 4%, while NVIDIA goes up to 190, Citibank raised their price target today, and they put out some really good numbers to kind of justify why they think it goes to 190. Let's say it does go to 190, and you didn't buy it at 160, and you didn't buy it at 100, and you didn't buy it at 120. It's just not possible, right? At some point, that money has to be allocated. So from that perspective, any dip, yeah, it proves the kind of argument that a lot of people have been talking about, that any dip ends up kind of getting bought at this point. The question is, how bad of a dip do people want for the market to go? And you know, if someone's expecting a 10% dip, then it has to be a catalyst driven dip. If we get a random 3% day for whatever reason that's algorithmic or people selling or quad witching or something, I think that dip gets bought up. Now, if you get a legitimate like Liberation Day 2.0 driven dip to the downside, that would be the entry point that a lot of these fund managers have been waiting for. But I don't think anyone believes that's going to happen, because no matter how much Trump threatens to put down all these tariffs, at the end of the day, if he does not impose them, this morning he tweeted right here that August 1st is the deadline, but then he also put in a video today in his cabinet meeting that August 1st is not really going to be the deadline. It's negotiable. It's hard. It's hard to see it getting hit as badly as some of these fund managers might be waiting to see it get hit. Jason just texted me. He's getting ready, so he should be here in about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we will get into all the technicals. I think technicals today are going to be really important, because last week we were kind of trying to make that new all-time high, and then by about Wednesday, we ended up like really making that new all-time high at 6,200. So now we're there, and the question is, can we keep it? And, you know, if we can keep it, then I think there's probably a lot more bullish momentum to go. That's kind of, you know, been Tom Lee's entire point. But if we can't keep it, then the question is going to be why. Now, we talked about in this morning, Apple losing some of their top AI talent. Let's get a little bit of coverage on that. Not the best news for Apple, really bullish for Meta, but let's get a little bit of an update on why people are leaving Apple and OpenAI for Meta.
Intelligence. And so this is a big setback for Apple. Internally, they claim they have a deep bench behind Pang in order to fill that gap, but the reality is they really don't. And the other reality is I'm told a bunch of these people are probably going to follow him out the door to Meta, OpenAI, Anthropic, and others. Apple pays measly amounts compared to the competition. I would guess that Pang was making around $5 to $7 million a year at Apple in his position running the foundation models team. At Meta, probably making well north of $25 to $50 million per year. I'm told his pay package is probably somewhere north of $200 million over 4 to 5 year contract. And so Apple not in a great space right now when it comes to AI research.
Wow. Okay, so I was going to ask you about compensation, but you answered the question. You should see Emily's face and my face when you said measly $5 to $7 million a year, because I think for a lot of people that sounds like quite a bit of money. But we're talking about an AI arms race where we've seen reporting, Mark, that shows that Meta Platforms is offering $100 million signing bonuses plus annual compensation of $100 million. This is unprecedented.
When I said measly about the $5 to $7 million, I was referring to your point in comparison to what you're seeing in terms of those offers. I don't think that's.
I don't know how things work out in Los Angeles, Mark. Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild, dude. It is pretty wild. Nonetheless, Meta is recruiting. So we saw Meta again take that $3.5 billion stake in the Ray-Ban parent company. They're paying, I would imagine, at least. I mean, if these engineers are getting a $200 million 5-year contract, you know, if you get 10 of them, you're talking about you're talking about billions of dollars already on engineering talent. Even if that's over time, they're going to have to justify to the street why they're paying up this much money. And I think it's not a hard argument. If the street's convinced AI is the future, Meta's llama has been relatively disappointing. If Meta can say, hey, we know this sucked, we've got something better, we're getting all this talent, so we're paying up for them, there will be an ROI in the future, then maybe that's the route that they're going for in terms of being able to build out their AI narrative. All right, cool. So let's get into Technical Tuesday. For those that are new to the channel, this is when we talk technicals on stocks. If you don't care about technicals, if you think it is astrology for men, which you're probably not wrong about, you probably don't have to stay and don't have to watch the rest of the show. If you do care about technicals or care a little bit about how fancy lines on charts look and if it can predict if a stock's going to go up or down, then for the next 3 hours, we will be talking about technicals, because it is indeed Technical Tuesday, which means we have to, if I can find it, the StreamYard update this shit? Where the hell did it? Oh, here it is. Roll the intro.
What's up, man?
Do you know how much shit I've had to take today because of you?
I mean, I didn't dress
Do you know how much
I don't see
shit
a problem with what you're wearing. I actually kind of like it, dude.
I've had to literally eat shit all day because for some reason they don't like your hoodie. I don't get it.
I love it. I
it.
love it. I don't know. I think it's the jersey on top, and it's a summer, so it's a sweatshirt in summer. I think it's the whole combo.
You're supposed to have my back on. You're supposed to have.
I love it.
I mean,
I got. What do you want? You want me to grab one?
Yeah, you should grab one. You should wear one with me.
Hold on. I think I got one.
You don't understand the amount. Like, I get on the Market Open, I start like, all right, guys, here are the headlines. Every comment's like, what is this guy wearing? And I'm like, it's a jersey over a hoodie. It's not that complicated. Like,
well, I think
it's not.
I don't have a here. I got a zip up. How's that?
There we go.
Dude,
I saw it in my closet today. I was like, I've never worn this live. I feel like wearing it today.
We're in. It's hot now. Now I got to turn on the AC.
Yes, multiple of you guys said I dress like a toddler, but
there's nothing wrong with it, man. I like it.
All right. I tried to see if the countdown timer worked on StreamYard. They do not allow that. So
really,
it's just not compatible. It's the best streaming software and the most unsophisticated streaming software for like actually implementing stuff. But we did good last time. Last time wasn't bad at all. We got through a lot of stuff.
All right. So I will try my best. Let me it's been a busy week. It's been wild. I'll tell you that much.
I think let's get started with Tessie. Let's start off with that one today and see what you are thinking about that. Guys, I'll be putting the doc in the chat. This doc, for those, whenever you have a question on did we do a ticker or not, it will be in this Google Doc. I'll pin the message in the chat. So you can click on that and check it out. And then Jason's Twitter, for those that are new to Technical Tuesday, I'm putting that in the chat as well. You can check him out on Twitter. All right, Tessie.
Tessie, so tried. Tessie tried. You can't really see. So I use extended hours. I think we have this giant gap down here this day. Huge gap down. It depends on how you trade this, right? Like like what tools, what I'd say derivatives, how you intend to trade it. Initially, intraday, let me see if I can try and make this a little bit better so you guys can maybe see this slightly better. And I think you have to have pre-market and post-market hours on. So a little bit darker shade is after hours, a little bit lighter shade is pre-market. This is like no trade. I think this is like, oh, we're going to start the America party, what have you, blah, blah, blah. Early hours, this was Monday, gap down, something similar. This was the last Tuesday, gap down, tried to do it. We had another gap, and this is what happens. Like when we see these kind of things, you get a little bit early flush. We have another one setting up like right now. Early flush doesn't really close strong. And what I'm referencing is how we started over here. Very similar, kind of gap down, early flush. But the difference is like how this closed on this day from here is completely different. We're still, I think we're just seeing investor exhaustion, really. Like we're not seeing them step up at the close like they did on this day. It's just not happening. So I think they're just exhausted at this point. They're trying like the follow-up day and they're filling these kind of unfilled overnight session gaps, but there's still no follow through over these simple moving averages up here. This area is like a 320 area. It's going to be very, very difficult.
Do you feel the setup along with Elon's America Party stuff and tweeting about Epstein and all this? Do you feel it's a little too clunky right now to go long Tesla?
Yeah, I mean it's hard. It's not a focus by any means.
Like there's better opportunities in the market for you.
There's so many opportunities in the market. It's overwhelming how many opportunities there are in the market. I can get distracted left, right, and center. And again, it comes down to how you trade them. And if you're overly focused on one thing, you absolutely miss like 10 different opportunities. If you're just focused on one underline, one trade, 2 trades, 3 trades, you're going to miss 10 if you're laser focused on one. So it's like, that's the one thing that you really cannot do right now. If you try to do that, it's a huge opportunity cost. So when Tesla's ready, it's going to be ready. But until then, it's just like, maybe I'll day trade it here and there. Like I day traded a little bit today, just from this area up, and it didn't follow through. So I was like, no big deal. On our weekly trade plan, it was like, okay, from the gap down, I did see this also. And if it was going to basically get over this area, which is why I day traded this morning, it could try to make it into that gap here, this gap. And the first stop would be like 305. So I had like 305 calls just as it was crossing through, but they did okay, a couple $100, $150 per contract, just a day trade. You can't buy time on, you don't need to buy time on Tesla because 1, if it goes, it goes. And 2, if it doesn't, I mean, they're short-lived moves. They're quick, they're violent. You just don't need to invest a lot of time in Tesla options. And again, I'm an options trader. I'm really not an equity trader. And when I talk about trades, I'm talking at most like week to week at this point, maybe month to month. But how technicals work, honestly, it's one day at a time, one level to the next, and every time you get to a target, you have to reassess, and then you reevaluate the entire trade.
Okay, let's do another one that broke a major level today. SOFI over 20.
Well, so SOFI we've had on what I mean, it was pretty overheated today. That said, it's not almost. I was very close to fading this guy today, but I did not. We've been kind of tracking this for a while since it started. It still has room. We have what we call like a fair value gap. So the overnight news created a pretty heavy inefficiency in the market last night. And as we were opening in the pre-market session, it was like, wow, okay, it could get, it was just very hot. And we have $20 psychological resistance. It's going to be a big number. I'm sure it'll bang its head up against this for a while. I know a lot of people probably sold some calls. I don't think that's a horrible idea. But for us, like this overnight session, honestly, it wasn't going to, here, I have a rule set, whereas like we have a small little session gap here. This we call like a little gap and go. It's this level 16, basically 1665. As long as it was holding that, this trajectory gap up should continue to go. And this gap, I don't need to worry about, quite frankly, unless it's below 1965. So as long as it's over 1965, this is still continuing higher. And it closed over it. So it's still going, believe it or not. Tomorrow's another story. So again, technicals, you have to reassess day by day. This purple line on my charts, that's the average weekly range. So to see and this green dotted line, this is my day trade setting. So this is average daily range. Obviously, that was a huge move today. This is the weekly average move from a 14-week average. So this is a big move on SOFI. I think it's ready for a bit of a rest. Yes, there's a gap, but no, it doesn't have to fill right away. It's a bit exhausted, but again, it could just go sideways for a little bit here. I think volatility is pretty hot.
You don't see the $20. Do you see it as like blue skies based on what happened today?
No. So usually when you hit a big round number, so like think Robinhood at 100. SOFI at 20, it's going to be when you hit those large round numbers, they end up or to the upside or downside. Think NVDA at 100, they end up being, or Bitcoin 100,000. That also ends up being like psychological resistance or support a lot of times. It's just a psychological level. So $20 is going to act as psychological resistance.
Yeah.
$100 on Hood is going to act as psychological resistance. $100 on Bitcoin, 100,000 on Bitcoin is going to act as psychological resistance. It'll break through, and then it could act as psychological support. NVIDIA, psychological support. It's just kind of one of those weird things that happens in the market.
Gotcha. Okay, NVIDIA got the 160 close. Any thoughts on this one today?
Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of chugging along. I think this is a decent case study where we have this big move pushed through here. And then what we're seeing a lot right now is like a pretty large pullback. And they've been like 24 to 48 hours pullbacks, and they're kind of scary, right? And that's this candle right here. NVIDIA, very quickly, this ends up being a retest of that quarterly high, 153, and it stopped very close to it, and then instantly bought back up. That has kind of been abnormal. A lot of times what we're seeing is like a small kind of set right there, and then the following day after we get some bounces. I think we've seen that in like CrowdStrike, Cloudflare, those kind of names are kind of basing around these levels. NVIDIA was one of the quicker ones to catch up. But then as we look at this, where that top was, even today, it's good. This is a full day, full day's trading over that prior 158.66 high. So it's constructive. It's a full day, completely over. We are a little hot. At the index level, we're not completely in the clear. So this is kind of standing alone right now. We're not, it looks good, but 161 is going to be really where you are. So it wouldn't surprise me to see this chop in this kind of range. Oh God, for a little bit as well.
Yeah, 164 is 4 trillion. So
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just see. If I were to take this and just even this little extension, 163.15, 164.68, 164.60 would be an extension if that breaks out of this little box.
Right.
From here to here, that would be doubling that little box. So the candles are getting smaller. Obviously, these are smaller candles than these candles. So it just means that like they're incrementally smaller moves at this point.
Hoodie got to 98, then 92. What do you think's going on with this one?
It was a lower high. So again, it's not breaking down. I don't, so 89.70 was this kind of lower end, and the box is, I would say this day, right? So 99.81 or 99.18, I would say inside this. So this is, I mean, this is a huge move. There was some news, but again, I'm not a big, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to news. But this, if I see some consolidation, I think would be perfectly fine. Honestly, I could see this pull back to like 85s and also be perfectly fine. That would be a retest of the top of this candle. And structure would still be sound to me. Okay. And that would probably line up with about a 20-day simple and let these moving averages kind of catch up. It's coming in kind of hot. I don't know what the metrics are right now. If Vlad's listening, I would love to get some MLB contracts going. We don't need the series. We want the games, standalone games. That would be great. But you know, they're doing some good stuff. There's a lot of cool things happening. It's a little hot. It's a little hot for sure from a technical perspective.
Yeah,
but
we haven't seen below 90 in a week and a half at this point.
No, so I don't think anybody's selling. Well, the chart is not breaking down. The chart is going sideways for a little bit, which is healthy, right? So stocks go up, stocks make runs, and then they rest. While they're resting, they can get a little choppy, but the resting period is important to develop that new investor base. And so that in order for a run to be sustained, that rest period has to happen. Otherwise, if you're just vertical, people chase, sure. But at a certain point, it'll break down and people put their stops. They just keep moving stops up and you just get run down at a certain point. And that's how you get these massive breakdowns. And I don't really want that.
Right. By the way, guys, Ayer, they just reported earnings. Revenue's down 15% year over year. Stock's down 20% after hours right now. Rocket Lab almost hit 40 today. Is this one looking bullish to you?
I mean, I got the dip, but this was, I mean, I can look at this and be like, well, we've had this trajectory, I suppose. Let me just measure this. Every day I look at this thing, I'm like, oh, still going. Ooh, $40 was my target. I think I have this in our.
Well, the reason this happened, though, is, or at least my opinion, is Elon tweeting like crazy. The market's like, okay, cool. Government's going to diversify space contracts. It happened last time when he tweeted about Epstein, and then it just the rally faded out because people moved on from it.
You mean like an anti-Elon trade?
Yeah, the anti-Elon trade. So other space vendors get a bid. That's it.
So you're discrediting Rocket Labs?
Well, no, the other reason it rallied last week was because of Russell 1000. Like, there's nothing happened in the past 2 days for it to get here, other than, in my opinion, the anti-Elon trade. I don't know if that's sustainable, but maybe it is. Maybe people buy into it and say, all right, screw it. You know?
Over 33.90, this took us to 42, then possibly 50. So yeah, I mean, I had this 42, 33.90 cracked here. We're 40. I had potentially 42s. Right now I'm showing 40, spot 16. So this can pull back 36s and still be totally valid.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a little hot. It can come back, doesn't have to come back. The next level would be 44 to 45.
Yeah, I mean, if it breaks 40, I feel like this one, it's still only
it's so yeah,
company.
And this trajectory max is like up into this area. I say max, I mean max on this measurement.
Right. Okay, AMD.
AMD I like here. So this is same thing. So trajectory is good, sound stable. We kind of like right where I expected a bit of a stall in this area here where it had broken down in the past. We got a little bit of a head bump to be expected. I actually sent a trim and a possible hedge that's been taken down. This here now is exactly what I'd want to see. Not out of the woods by any means. But at this point, this is looking much better. So this structure here, so we know it's back on the mend. I say it's back on the mend if you haven't been following. This is this low. We kind of have this bit of liquidity grab. As I see it, I'm looking at this area, this 132s area here where it could have pulled back. It's just over. This is, to me, looking like a bit of consolidation in here in this box. So it's not, again, it's not out of the weeds. So here is the consolidation. Again, it's just essentially slowed down and started to create another bit of a base.
Real quick before you continue, the Apple COO just stepped down. Apple's not reacting after hours. He's going to stay at the company in a smaller role, but the Apple COO, Jeff Williams, is stepping down.
I like this setup here now, right? So even on this little blip, if this is your consolidation, today you started to break out of this. This could easily be an immediate continuation tomorrow from this guy. And that continuation would put you back on the mend really to like the 150s, 155 over the next couple weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if NVIDIA cooks up to 165, 170, maybe AMD just, I mean, it's been following all year, or at least over the past couple of weeks.
Couple weeks. I don't know about all year, but.
Not all year. Wow. That's fair. Okay. Palantir.
I haven't looked at this lately. So this is what I saw. So we've had a lot of these kind of situations where we call like it's been a good run, and then we get what we call like a kill candle. And what we do is we kind of measure this moment in time. You're almost there. You're right there. So this I say kill candle. It's basically exhaustion. And so this exhaustion day creates a bit of a liquidity grab down here. If I take that, here's my halfway point. Right in this area. That's my halfway point. And this is my 6.5. So right now I say 6.5 like retracement. So you're trapped in here. Luckily you're over the halfway point. That can go. If it gets over 141, then you're very likely to get damn well close to the top of that. That'd be what, 144.88. It's kind of in day trade mode here. You're still not quite out of the woods until you make that new high. 148 and a third is that quarterly high. If you do break out over that, then I would just measure this area on that extension, put you about 158. Right in this box.
It got hit after the Russell rebalance down to 129, and it's recovered kind of nicely since then. But
yeah, I mean, so like this is if you look at it, like that's one way to look at it. Here, if you look at it this way, this was that last breakout here. So I'll switch views to a little bit longer view. So this was that last consolidation here. It's kind of like breakout, cool, exhaustion, retest, sweeps the lows into that same area, and you're kind of bouncing right back out of it.
Yeah.
So net still more work to do. It's not out of the woods yet, but no major structure broken.
Okay. I mean, let's do Apple next based on the COO. And you've been saying this one's good over 200. You don't think it's going back to 180, and you kind of been right for the past 3 weeks.
So 215 was a massive technical level, which we got to. That was the first stop. So for me, all my near dated stuff, the nearest dated stuff had to get taken down. Actually, pretty good win. And that's from here to here. So it's a small blip on the chart. It's like a nothing burger at this point, but it's a good win from an options perspective. At this point, I kind of need to look, and we have to just watch, right? So I need to watch. So it's a move. It's a cool move. It's not like the move. Let me measure that really quick. So, I mean, June usually makes 8%. This little blip is like 7% almost. This is like the next area. And so I have to see where it settles out. So what I have to see next, and I don't want to anticipate, right? That's the hardest thing to do is like, oh, where is it going to stop? Where do I want to buy it next? I don't really know. What I have to see is I have to wait for Apple to tell me. When Apple tells me, cool, I will know. So Apple has made a run, right? And this week, I think Apple and Google probably get to do a little bit of a rest. Right now, Apple is kind of basing just under this 210 level. And it's only been 2 days. So big run in a couple days to the first primary target. Now we have a little bit of pullback instantly Monday, Tuesday. So far, the low of today is about 208, and I have a small blip on the radar here from this prior resistance, which if I'm looking at this right, so I have some liquidity 207, 208, and I know that the hard level, it was so choppy getting through this. It was 204. I really don't think that we get that deep, but I don't know. Like if we got that deep on Apple, I'm like, well, that would be pretty deep to get to see like near 205s again. That would be wild, but anything's possible. Like I said, Apple has to tell me. I don't make the rules here. But for now, it would be in this 207.5 area that I should get interested in. Interested is just interested. And so what I need to see essentially is I need to see this sideways action somewhere in here. I can stay in my runners, but then at some point, you know, if Apple's doing this, I'll see it break out and then I'll have to see a higher low. So I need to see a higher high and then I need to see a higher low. And then this is the one where I would be able to size right back up and get into a new Apple trade, a new Apple trade right here. In the meantime, I do think this happens. And so for me, it's like consolidating. So it's easier to manage into a different strike selection right now.
Okay, so the next Max 7, which is having their Prime Day, Amazon, does that look a little bit more bullish?
No. I was never really a so the technical setup, but Amazon for the July move, so the Prime, so there's such a thing as a Prime Day trade, but it has not worked the last couple of years. Like it has been a bad trade the last couple of years. That said, this is the consolidation here, 216 to 196. This last consolidation from the gap up here, and the breakout here. That target was acquired, and I took the trade down in its entirety yesterday, even though it was the day before Prime Week. What bothers me right now is Bezos. I got to be real. Bezos continue to sell. It just bugs me.
He just sold $700 million worth 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at this and I was like, I probably should have shorted this. But no, Prime Day, Prime Week, whatever, sometimes ends up being a sell then use event.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you count it out, but it doesn't always participate the way that the rest of them do. And Bezos is a wild card right now. So he can keep a lid on the stock for sure.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one. So because of that, what I will say is like there are a lot. I'm more into easy money, and that makes this hard money.
Yeah, and Amazon's like long-term Amazon's cheap, but it's not like Google type of cheap right now, right?
To be fair, Google has not been easy money either.
Okay, let's do Google. What do we think?
I mean, Google. I'm long Google, but Google I got hit with yesterday and today also. I mean, it is what it is. Like this was probably the best ad here most recently. And Google has been kind of the same kind of case study where this was the first day where I was like, or one of these days where I was like, okay, this is looking really good. And what's been standing out most recently for me is like, this hasn't been the market where I really want to add on the breakout. Like so when I look back on the last couple weeks, buying strength hasn't really been the best thing, just the last 2 weeks. It's been buying like the bloody dips. Like this is, if you're buying strength here, it's like, okay, but then you got to sell right away because like insta pullback. And even this is like, okay, but I did buy this here. I did buy this. And even that pullback has not been the best.
Yeah.
Because here I am on the 200-day. And really what I was looking at here is like, this was one other dip. This dip down here has been the best dip, but I didn't really get deep into that one. So anyways, today I moved some of my strikes around because I think it's very much about time and strike selection. Google's got earnings, so we're going to start earnings season pretty soon. I don't really believe that we're going to just completely flush right ahead of earnings season. I mean, I just don't. I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong, right? But what do I know? I'm just a trader.
If it does, though, it's gonna be a tough time for Google this year.
Yeah, I guess so. If it loses this 172, or essentially this 200-day simple, it probably will, and it'll probably go see 168 again.
Yeah.
And in that case, the July thing for Google ends up being a short, and that's what it is. So for now, I'll still be here. I'm not going to sign off. I started to hop in on those Januaries with you today, just a nibble. And then I moved my strikes around. I will throw my short dated strikes right into the garbage quickly if this fails again. Because it would be 168s and it would be retesting this 50-day simple. But if I could get those, like Amit paid through the nose for these January 200 calls, like he paid through the nose for them. And if I could get those calls that he paid, how much did you pay for them?
So they're 150s, but I paid $60.
Oh, you paid 150s?
Yeah. But I'm down like 50% because they're worth 35 right now.
You got 150s? I don't know that I want 150s.
I did what Nancy did.
You do?
Yeah, Nancy. I mean, she doesn't lose, right? So she has 6 months to not lose.
Well, I think it would go up, but I like some higher strikes. I like some convexity. So I've been scouting some Januaries, and I would probably hold through earnings. I've been scouting some January 200s. And if I can get those for a couple $100, I probably would. And then I would just sign off. And if I could get those for a couple $100, I would probably just do that and say they can go to zero if it doesn't work out.
Yeah. I was questioning if I should buy Google before earnings, but I'm not feeling it, bro. I have my calls. I hope they go up. But I'm not. I think it's undervalued, but I'm not going to buy before earnings.
No, I agree. Right. I agree. Google's always been undervalued though. Right. So the cheap get cheaper. That's what's true. Look, this is, if the market is, we're spending too much time on Google, so we should move on. I'm going to buzzer Amit. But anyways, the market, look, this is one stock where it's like, I think it's a high value target in the near term, but I don't want to get too caught up focusing on this because it will be an opportunity cost for me at a certain point.
Okay, so let's do Unity, requested from the chat. Thank you, Adar, for the $50 super chat. He's up 50K on Unity. He says the setup looks similar to Palantir. Before
I almost had him beat, man.
Really? You're thinking the same thing?
Well, I did an accidental order. So I meant to buy 25 of these options, and I accidentally put an extra 5 on the order, and it bought 255. And I was like, son of a bitch.
Oh boy.
Of these options.
Oh boy.
But
well,
yeah.
now if it works, it's really gonna work.
Hey, no, I already right size. But yeah, so I have 31. So Unity's squeezy. It's squeezy. The volume was there on the options chain. Look, it's a dangerous, but this is what I'm talking about. There are a million trades out there. This is literally one of a million. I already traded Unity once a long time ago on this show. And that was for like 2026 options, right? This is one of a million. This is not a million in like literally a million setups just like this. Google, I mean, come on, let's get real. It's great. It's long-term, but in the meantime, there's a lot of money to be made. I was telling our chat the other day, I was like, this setup yeah, $1 million a month. There's the makings of $1 million week going on right now. Like, it's crazy.
We'll talk more about the Ethereum treasuries because I'm curious about your take on it. But someone said in the chat they had a 6-figure portfolio, low 6 figures, and the Ethereum treasuries this week, because they owed one of them 20x, took it to a 7-figure portfolio.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, the setups in the market as a whole, it's very weird. This is market commentary. If this was, to me, it was always a 4 to 6 week like market blitz, right? Where we have to blitz the market in general over the next 4 to 6 weeks. We're on week 4 now, which means that we would typically be towards the tail end. And if there was 2 weeks left, well, the last 2 weeks are usually the most violent. And as I'm looking at the setups, I'm like, some of these setups, to be quite frank, are at the absolute lows. And I'm not so sure that this is necessarily going to end. Like, it's very weird. Some of these are at the highs, but some of these are really not. Regardless, I have to play it by ear, right? So 3180 is where I think this should go. And the first time I said this on your chat, it was at $16. I believe the ticker was about $16, and it could be a 50% equity play.
Right.
And here we are about 50%.
Yeah.
So you're coming up on targets. So
you like this chart right now?
No, I think it's getting to targets, 3180. I don't want to get over my skis. 3180 right here. Can it go higher? Absolutely. Are there going to be issues with the company? Absolutely. Is going through changes? Yeah, for sure. Is it going to be what's the Minecraft catch up and GME headline, all kinds of stuff going on, squeeze play? Yeah, it has all the makings of all of that. So, does what's his name end up showing up on the options chain? Totally possible. So it can go all kinds of crazy directions on this.
It's 10% short.
Yeah. So it has all the makings of the crazy crazies. But for me, it's cool, right size. I'm in, taking some profits, letting it ride, baby. See what happens.
Okay. Celsius.
Haven't looked at this. Well, so haven't looked at this because what we had was a little bit of a topping formation. This is holding strong. I think it's just had such a move. It's one where as I look back in the market, a lot of these you can start circling back to. I don't know that this is ready to come back to, but maybe by next week it will be. Or in between now and next week, it'll probably have topped off at some point. I would set it up something along these lines. It's probably 44 looks like an area. I would call this an area of interest around 44. It's probably going to line up with your 20-day simple as the first spot. But the setup has usually been about 30 days consolidation. This is only about 14 so far. So probably another week or so to breathe. But it is at a pretty big consolidation level. I think you're about halfway also.
Right.
From the double top of death. I mean, the other one that's getting more and more interesting. This has got to be off. The other one that's getting more, 50%. The other one that's getting more and more interesting is like Roku, which has the same double top of death and almost there. So if it can get over that 48, then yeah, you have a $10 move. I would give it a little bit more room, but 48, if you can get through that, this is why this becomes interesting. If you can get over that 48, it's very likely that you get into that $50 move. So that becomes a pretty big, just technical move, but also why I would say you want to give this probably a 30 to 45 day consolidation in here to let these simple moving averages catch up.
Okay, that is fair. Nebius, this one's been getting hit because CoreWeave made an acquisition that the street didn't love.
I know, I get this request daily right now. I'm not really sure what's going on and why we're getting this request daily. I just don't have a whole lot of interest in this. It's going sideways. There's no change on this chart since the last time I looked at it with you or with me on my stream.
Is that the same price too? Yeah.
Yeah. So no change, nothing to do here. Sit on hands.
Okay. MRVL, thoughts on this one?
This one got hit. This was something about Microsoft delays on their. So Microsoft's big custom silicon provider. Or MRVL provides some custom silicon for Microsoft, but not getting hit harder. Again, MRVL has been a longer term story, and it is going to be a show me story. So I'm not too discouraged on this. It's short term, it is what it is. Longer term, actually, structure's not broken yet. I don't have so if I'm in, let's say, an options position, I can't just add because something's cheaper than it was when I bought it, right? It's let's say for January expirations or like 2027 leaps or something like that. I still need to have what we call like a retrigger. So yes, it's at a good spot for a higher low. So if this is my higher low, those are equal lows, higher low, higher low, higher low. That is just over that area. Higher high. So higher high here, higher high here, higher high here. So I'm just barely over this consolidation right there. So it's not a bad spot to watch. It's probably going to need a little bit of news flow. Not really sure what that would have to look like. Maybe resumption of that custom silicon or a new customer or a new product.
Okay. Let's do this one, dude. I don't know if you've seen some of the hoopla around this one. Is that a word? That's a word, right? Hoopla.
It's a word.
Hype. Weeble. What do you think about this?
Oh,
one?
they had a crazy what did they do? They did like an
Big
offer.
offering with like one of the scummiest firms on the planet.
Who did they do it with?
Yorkville Capital.
I don't know. So they were getting the love, and they took the love, and they turned it into money. Imagine that.
That's true.
I don't know what to say. Oddly enough, it's holding higher than it was before.
Yeah. Well, last week it went from 10 to 14, went back down to 1250, and now it's kind of just stuck in that area, 13, 1250.
Yeah, it's still holding. So they're not giving up. Meaning, like whoever's in this, they have it's not going lower. Look at that. Yet, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea, Hey, does Webull have event contracts too?
They're partnered with Coffee, so they're probably going to get them soon.
I think I saw something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Grab. What do you think about this one?
Samesies. Love you, bud, but samesies. I mean, it's just consolidation mode. It's just sideways. It's a little price discovery. but yeah, nothing doing here.
Yeah, I think this one's stuck until earnings, so there's nothing much to analyze there. Okay, so this I mean, your general thoughts on BMNR. I mean, I don't think there's any TA.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so it's Tom Lee's Ethereum treasury that went from 4 to 120. It's a Bitcoin mining company that started a $250 million Ethereum treasury, and Tom Lee endorsed it. He's the chairman of the board, and yeah, that's what happened.
Good for Tommy Lee.
I mean, people have legit 20x in a week. It feels frothy, but it's also like, is he the Michael Saylor of Ethereum at this point?
It's only 687 million market cap.
Yes.
I think you just have to do the metrics. You have to run the numbers. So I don't know that it matters that it's gone up that much, to be fair, because it would just be about how much Ethereum they own.
And they haven't bought a single Ethereum yet, bro.
Oh, well, then or what they're going to buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, what if he wants to start? What if he doesn't want to buy Ethereum, or like he wants to just mine it? I don't know. Or what if he's? You don't know. Well, so what if he's just going to take the market cap and say, whatever you guys decide that this is going to be worth, that's what we're going to buy in Ethereum, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. He could do that.
Yeah. I mean, he seems pretty damn bullish on the concept of it, but they have yet to buy it yet. And but people are just trusting in Tom Lee, right?
Yeah.
And Ethereum's done nothing for 2 years, so if he is the guy to resurrect it, maybe this is the way people get exposure.
Maybe.
Okay. Can we do? Where was the name I was looking at? Okay, we'll do that one after. Yeah. Oscar, which got hit badly after all the hype it had, and now it's kind of just like in limbo.
That's a good spot. It's a higher low. So now you watch. So this is where you watch. So it's not 14. It didn't make it there, which is a good sign. Because I didn't sell, which means that whoever bought down here, they didn't sell. And so it's a higher low. They didn't sell. Only people that bought here maybe sold. This is constructive.
Yeah, I mean, this one also has to do with the big beautiful bill and ACA and stuff, but you got someone on Twitter said they bought 1 million. I mean, they showed the screenshot of buying 1 million at 16.
I mean, the question is, does it though? Because like all of this here, because what you're referencing is super short, is kind of myopic, right? Because like people that have been in Oscar are not necessarily in Oscar for that near-term catalyst. Maybe this, and I think that's what we saw. Like if you were in it from here, to your point, 16 to here, to your point, maybe, because this pump is probably from the big beautiful bill, but not necessarily here, because I think that was from beforehand. And definitely any of this accumulation is definitely before that. And so here, this is kind of giving that investor base an opportunity to get back in. Now, if this is the big beautiful bill, June 25th, has been priced out of the stock, you're getting that not priced in, maybe, but it's over the 200. Doesn't mean it can't come back down. It's Oscar. It can do what it wants, honestly. It's a small cap. It's just you have to treat it like a small cap. I think it can come down closer to 15 and still be fine. Quite frankly, 1450 also still be fine, but you're really tight around that simple moving average, and you got a couple days sideways that's the point where you want to say, okay, a couple days sideways, cool. I can start to look at see, hey, how are you going to start to react? Sideways currently is between 1750 and 16. So either it gets just below 16 or it breaks and comes back into range, or it breaks out over 17. So meaning like break out over 17, or I get a little bit of a liquidity grab below, and then I come back in, and then I get out. One of these two scenarios.
Have you heard of SBET at all?
Only from like Sam and Chris, and maybe you.
Another Ethereum treasury. Any thoughts on?
Well, the chart's looking better. I think this is going to be a sympathy play on Tom Lee's thing.
I think so too. Yeah.
Although $1 billion, it's double the size of Tom Lee's.
Yeah. Yep.
When you say Tom Lee, do you ever think of the guy that was dating Pam Anderson? Or is that a generational thing?
No, is he the drummer?
Yeah. Was he drummer?
So the only reason I think of that is because if you look at Tom Lee's Twitter, it literally says in his name, not drummer.
Oh.
I would never have that knowledge ever if I didn't know that. But I made the connection there because of this. So yeah. I don't know who the drummer is. I don't know who Pamela Anderson. Who is that person?
Wow.
Who's Pamela
Aged
Anderson?
myself right there.
No, you didn't age yourself. I'm just like oblivious to pop culture.
No,
Oh, Baywatch. Okay, cool.
Oh, he knows what Baywatch is.
Well, I know the show. I haven't watched the show. But...
He knows the show Baywatch. I'm calling bullshit right there.
No, yeah, it's what like
you
like,
don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's the they're in the red swimsuit and they're like it's slow.
Oh,
motion.
now
It's slow motion with dude. I know some things about Baywatch. But I didn't know that was the lady who was in it.
Yeah, so this is catching up. I think this could catch up real fast. Does this has, am I going to do this? Oh, God. Oh, God. What? Which one of you guys did that?
Looking at the option flows, someone must have degened like crazy today.
Which one of you guys did that?
Let me see if I can try to find what you're looking at. Let me see.
Who did that?
I will find what option you're looking at. What degen move did we see today?
Well, I mean, first of all, there's 94,000 calls.
Dude, the volume today was 50,000 calls and 5,000 puts. My goodness.
On SBET, I showed 94,000.
No, that's the number of calls that. Oh yeah, I'm looking at only one. Yeah. And in everything, it is 94,000 calls, 10,000 puts.
Yeah, but so your view. I mean, it's all of them are on the highest possible strike.
Put in the chat if you're an SBET. Put in the chat if you're in. Put why, because I think some people that are doing it for a BMNR type of move.
What the hell's that's the
Tom Lee thing. Yeah. I don't know, bro.
Not the drummer.
Dude, SBET diluted by, I'm not making this up, 69 million shares 2 weeks ago, which is why the stock went from 120 to like.
Technically, it is initiating a squeeze, though, into a fair value gap, right? So we call fair value gap. So technically, over 1425, and if you get into this area, you would technically initiate into like this liquidity zone. Yeah, I understand that you're talking about a fundamental area, but from a chart perspective, there's a volume gap that has been triggered here this day. And honestly, this is what we're seeing. We're seeing this a lot, right? So we're seeing this type of level get alerted, and it goes into the zone, into the range. And then we see an immediate pullback, and you think, oh, your contracts are down 70, 80, 50%, like same day, next day. And then kablam, like very following day, First of all, you stop out that day.
Yeah.
And then the very next day they're up. And then if you get in this day, you're like, oh, it looks great. And then by the way, tomorrow you're down another 90%. You stop out at the lows. And then the following day you're up here. That's just what's happening.
And if ETH makes any level of a run, I think they're going to run like crazy.
Yeah.
Like if ETH gets to 3,000 in the next month, I think these things are running with it. People will think that Ethereum is alive after 2 years.
I mean, it technically would be alive, wouldn't it? If it did that.
Yeah. I'm not buying the Ethereum treasuries. I'm thinking of buying Ethereum. I'm still trying to understand if his thesis, Tom Lee, his thesis is stablecoins are going to expand exponentially and Ethereum is going to be the main blockchain that gets the gas fees when they do expand. It's a simple thesis. That's why he thinks.
If Ethereum gets the gas fees?
Yeah. So he thinks it'll be 50% of a $2 trillion stablecoin market over the next decade.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be the de facto blockchain. I think Solana's in there as well, but he thinks Ethereum will be the main one. It doesn't have a fixed supply like Bitcoin, though, so it's not exactly the store of value people think of. But there is real utility potentially.
You kind of lost me for a second.
So stable coins, which I don't even understand fully as well. They're a $250 billion market. I don't understand it as well as other people, but Tom Lee thinks it's a $2 trillion market in the next decade.
Ethereum.
No, stable coins.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All the transactions happening that could threaten Visa and MasterCard. And they need to happen on a blockchain. And his argument is Ethereum will be that blockchain that all those transactions take place on, which will result in tons of gas fees, which is good for Ethereum.
It can't be.
I mean, that's his argument.
Oh, speed.
So, okay, that I don't have an answer to that because I don't really know how fast or slow Ethereum is. But Robin is using Ethereum for their blockchain for tokenized stocks. So I kind of don't know if speed is like the issue. I mean, I just got to.
Well, it's not at a certain level, but once you have too much traffic, Ethereum's like a 2-lane highway. And then that's why there are multiple. I'm not on the clock, am I?
No, you're good.
Am I on a different clock?
No, you're good. What are you talking about?
So that's why there are different blockchains in general. Solana is the highest bandwidth blockchain. Right. So Ethereum is like a 2-lane highway at a 65 mile an hour speed limit. Solana is like it's like an 8-lane freeway, 85 mile an hour speed limit. Right. Then you have different other blockchains that is like Avalanche, who is like what's the freeway in Europe? It's the Autobahn, but it's only 2 lanes. Autobahn, no speed limit. Avalanche, but Solana is like it's the one everybody is easy to build on. We can make them all over like little Legos, boom, 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 super easy. We can build this all over the place. So
I think the two arguments against that would be the layer 2s on Ethereum, which is what Robin had partnered with Arbitrum, are super fast, and B, Solana's use case has been meme coins. That's all. Like I don't know anything else.
It's not a use case. It's the bandwidth is Solana's use case. That's really is. Layer 2 is a utility, right? So layer 2 is just like something on top of. You have too many, like you can fork or not fork. You can shard. There's all, anyways. You go super deep, but yeah, if you're using the core Ethereum blockchain, at a certain point, your fees go so crazy through the roof, and your transactions get really slow if you're using the core blockchain because there's too much traffic. You get traffic jam.
No, I agree. So I don't know exactly how the stablecoin network would work on Ethereum, but I know from my understanding of it, not a lot of stablecoins are using Solana, but what's using Solana is the Melania coin, and that's not going to be relevant in 5 years. But
no,
will.
Not.
Yeah, so maybe that is Tom Lee's thesis here. Okay, cool. So that was SBET and BMNR. Those are the Ethereum treasuries. Can we do this name right here? ASTS.
Rockets.
One argument here could be they get some anti-Elon sympathy as well if SpaceX maybe loses some contracts.
Well, they held their anti-Elon sympathy.
It's a good point.
God, is Matt here?
Matt, if you're here, let us know in the chat.
Cause like, dude, I almost trimmed some Rocket Lab today, and I was like, I know. I did.
Why?
Cause I looked at it, I was like, I feel I'm 45%, almost 50% up. I'm like, what?
You were thinking of selling Rocket Lab, bro?
Because I was like, I wanted to buy other things. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what's happening right now? But anyways, it's all good.
Matt would be mad if he heard.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. That's what I wanted to know. But it's starting. So like I said, there's two primary setups, man. One is like that high tight 45-day consolidation. This is 9 days. I don't think you're there yet. I think this is going to start as a failed breakout. So you break down. So I think you wait for a little bit of a liquidity grab. And then this gives you, I think this is going to give you an opportunity, and it's going to look probably ugly. This is not a sell here that I can tell yet, but I think that, I don't know, but this looks like it's going to give you a better opportunity soon. How's that? This looks like it's going to give you a better opportunity. And maybe it's just not quite ready. Yeah, I would wait a little bit. It's not ready. It's either going to give you a better opportunity or it'll tell you loud and clear in a little bit, but it's not just yet. There's it's 47, maybe even a little bit higher, 48.5. But when it goes, it's going to start to get wild on this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 48.25 or something like that. But it just came off a huge run. So you got to let it rest a little bit more.
That's my thing. No one should be like, people are asking, when is it going higher? I'm like, dude, it's up from 23. Like, let it just chill.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I heard you play one of Tom Lee's interviews just now. And then I heard a little bit of commentary and about the, who are the hedge funds going to come into?
Yeah.
What I will say is it doesn't have, like, they don't have to FOMO into NVIDIA or Microsoft or Meta. There are discounts everywhere. And when I say, like, I could get caught up on Google, there are a million stocks, not a million, but there are a lot of hidden gems. Someone mentioned GitLab that are at the depths of the lows right now that are good stocks that are easy buys.
Like names that haven't run, essentially.
At all. Yeah.
That's fair. And we can definitely talk about some of the names that you have in mind. But yeah, I agree. I mean, so your argument is that hedge funds could FOMO into Google theoretically versus the
not even, but I'm actually, so I think remember what we talked about last week was that I think it's, if we continue to go, it's via multiple expansion. And the question then becomes, who deserves the multiple expansion at what point in time?
Yeah.
So is it Google here and now? Eventually, right? But maybe there's somebody else that deserves a multiple expansion first, right? And so maybe that's Unity because they still want growth. And maybe Unity has a better reason for me to give Unity a multiple over Google today. Eventually, when Google earnings is right around the corner, you betcha it's gonna get it, right? But today, because the market is so fickle, right, it doesn't get it today.
Are there 4 to 5 names you're thinking of that are obvious undervalued plays that a hedge fund manager could FOMO into? Like if you were managing 500 million and you were on the sidelines this whole year, what 5 names would you throw 100 million into?
Oh, well, I could look at my Arista.
Okay, ANET, that's fair. Yeah, put it in the chat as well. If you have to manage 500 million, allocate 100 million, you've been on the sidelines all year. What 5 names are cheap enough to justify buying?
So the thing is, I don't think it's 5. I think you have to spread it out, right? Because like, I think you could say to your clients, listen, some things are hot, but also because it's hot, I think that you can go into some deep value at the same time. Yeah. Nobody's going to shoot you for buying McDonald's, right? Nobody's going to shoot you for buying Home Depot right as we enter summer, which is their strongest season, at the lows, right before we're closer to rate cuts than ever. Home builders are at the absolute lows. Those are no-brainers, right? That's no-brainers.
UNH,
right? That's simple. But you also need the growth, right? You also need, Toll Brothers, whatever. You also need the growth. Nobody's gonna shoot you for putting a storyline together saying that Roku is possibly a catch up to Netflix, like for real, on a streaming advertising play, right? Nobody's gonna shoot you that saying that Abercrombie is a catch up to Nike and a possible turnaround story. No way. Right? Like, or that, like, there's a lot of stuff out there. I'm just saying, I'm looking at that Kava is down at the depths and still has a ton of room to grow. Like that Workday isn't down, right? That ServiceNow isn't still a good company and has a lot of room still to the upside. That Pure Storage isn't in the middle of the range that needs that after Micron. Pure Storage is a no-brainer AI play from a storage perspective. Like there's like Twilio we're using on a regular basis. What is it doing in the middle of this range, right? Like there's a lot. I mean, a lot. We're talking software sector as a whole is the most juicy primed to me across the board. Snowflake, I used to call Snowflake the Winter Soldier. And this is because I know Frank Slootman, he's a buddy, but I wasn't really big. I always loved the technology. They've been, you're a Palantir guy, but the truth is Snowflake's still where it is. New guy. It's a catch-up trade, dude. It's a catch-up trade here and now. I after Snowflake kind of went down, we started calling Snowflake Bucky. I don't know if you know the story of Bucky. Snow.
Is it from a movie?
Well, Snowflake is the Winter Soldier. We called him the Winter Soldier. And then the Winter Soldier's real name, we found out, is Bucky Barnes. And so then we sent Bucky back to Wakanda to get his arm fixed or whatever. But maybe Bucky's coming back stronger as we approach earnings. And he's sure trying. That's what I can tell you right now from Captain.
From the Avengers, of
course,
dude. Obviously. I just had to go back into my subconscious to bring that out. That's
yeah. Shopify. Why are we not talking? So Shopify actually today, I like the dip. We have earnings coming in here now. And so the software sector as a whole, there's one like way low setup that's looking like juicy primed.
Eve called this at like $40 last year.
What?
DocuSign. Like he called.
This is not DocuSign. This is DigitalOcean.
I thought it was DocuSign.
But DocuSign also, by the way, I got some really weird flow. But yeah, DocuSign also is in the list, right? Of like, okay, this thing's gotten absolutely shellacked. What are we doing here, right? This is all software sector. IGV is the ETF that tracks the software sector.
Lagging SMH by far.
But is it? Look where we are.
On an overall percent, let me check. IGV year to date is.
Look where we are. We're about the tippy top. This is like I'm about to pop. Like it's right there. Did you see Datadog? Did you see that?
Well, they got into the S&P. I mean,
of course they did, but like that's pushing this whole thing, and they're all trying to play catch up. Cloudflare Net, right? It's right there. This 2020 220 all-time high levels. We're over that major.
There's a lot of names that you're looking at.
So my point is there's a lot of names that are still yet to go, right?
Right.
It's not just, here's Twilio, it's not just NVIDIA or who you think about. Look at this, dude. He's not, have you seen like the old DoorDash, right? Like, by the way, it's a lot of long lost but not forgotten by certain people. This is the sector you're on the verge of a whole sector breakout right here in software, which is, by the way, where Palantir lives,
right?
Where Palantir used to primarily live.
Okay,
so this is the juiciest looking sector to me, and the next one that could start to play catch up after semis, right? So SMH
is up 15%, IGV is up 11%.
Yeah, but from the highs.
Yeah, it's relatively the same from the highs.
It's right there. So both of these two are brimming at the top. So not only is it semi catch up now, it's also software catch up. And these two sectors have the highest beta. So in both of these areas, I can find a lot of laggards that have a lot of areas. GitLab is exactly that, right? GitLab is exactly software beta catch up.
Right. I think you made your point. There are definitely, I think you just named like 20 different companies that.
Yeah, Confluent. This is a good company, right? There's one I saw like crazy old school Bill.com. Do you know what this is? You probably don't.
Yep. No, I know. Yeah.
Look at this thing. Look at come on. There's a lot of room on a lot of these. These are at the lows. So I look at this stuff. I'm like, dude, there's some stuff out there. So if you can do some research and say, okay, these are still good companies, but for whatever reason, not, here's Pure. This is the setup, right? Really high, really tight. Pure Storage, if you don't know, is like the fastest storage rate. 54-day consolidation, exactly what we're looking for. These boxes are made up exclusively. This is not a very liquid option chain by any means, but this is the setup with exactly this area that creates this massive velocity from a price action perspective, straight into that. But yeah, they're made out of Micron. Micron's doing great still. Can't believe it.
Okay, can we before we go to Micron, can we do HIMS? Because this one has been really weird for a lot of people.
Very weird. I'm not convinced still.
Me either.
I saw a little pop up today. I kind of dismissed it, to be honest with you. Just because of
so did the market.
Well, because it popped up to resistance, and I don't think it continued through.
I don't think anyone could realistically. I mean, if your average is super low and you believe so deep in the company, sure. But how can you buy this before this lawsuit comes out? Unless you think the lawsuit's a nothing burger, which it might be. But I just feel like perception-wise, it's kind of scary buying here before they have a big-ass pharma company sue them. Or try to sue them. Or threaten to sue them. You know, like, I know you don't care about that because it's TA, but still, it feels a little weird.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. Clearly somebody's stepping in, right? Somebody is. But also there's still people that are scared. So another battle is taking place, right? The battle between the paper hands and the diamond hands, right? Whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So I think if you like it, you might be accumulating it. If you're scared, and you bought over here, then you're still in the process of trying to exit stage left with as little damage as possible, and you're clearly being able to do that. And that is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not selling, but I'm not adding here, and that's why it's dead money right now. I'm trying to figure out.
I thought these were your orders to sell. I thought I saw it said emit selling.
You can't even see that in an order book flow. Emit selling.
Well, there are tags that come through. I know that
Not a-
when I
not a
send an
blockchain
order,
address.
when I send an order, it says Jason's order is coming through, but only certain people see it.
Dude, how wild would that be if like you have a tag to your order?
There is a tag.
You know the reason Bloomberg is so valuable is because institutional investors can talk to each other anonymously through the terminal in a regulated way. Like that is why I found out people pay $25,000 a year, because you can speak to other analysts anonymously in a regulated way and like say, hey, are you buying HIMS right now? And like just like we would talk in a Discord, that's how they do it on the terminal.
There's a tag. How do I see this?
There's no freaking tag. What are you talking about? There's no.
Dude,
If there was a tag, we would
There's
know
a
every
tag,
time.
son of a
There's
bitch.
no tag, dude.
I'm proving it to you right now. Hang on.
You're
just
telling me there's a tag where I can tell it's Jason buying or selling something.
yeah, hang on.
I know it's gonna be a joke somehow, like, but
It's not a joke.
I don't think there's a tag that says this stuff. We'll do meta next, guys. We'll do meta in a bit. We did Nebius already. We'll do Uber and Lyft as
I just
well.
have to screenshot this because it's so old and I can't move this thing over.
Guys, ABCL, like we can do it, but again, it's a long-term hold. There's
Can you see that?
yeah, but I would like if you did a trade, I wouldn't be able to see this.
For this account? No, you cannot. That's what I said. Only certain people can see. The brokerage can. Designated. So your option orders will be designated as professional by option exchanges.
Okay, so that doesn't
So
help.
when I send an order,
Are you saying you're a professional?
I'm not, but the CVOE decided many moons ago. Anyways, let's move on.
Uber Lyft together. Let's do both of those. Uber is at all-time highs now.
Uber's at all-time highs. Uber, I think, is the anti-Elon trade. This thing's going, dude. It's wild.
Well, it also got upgraded across the board, I think, to like 115, 120. I think the street's just like, yeah, robotaxis are going to take too long. Buy Uber.
Well,
which they're not wrong about. Robotaxis aren't happening anytime soon. Like,
dude, you know, when it rains, it pours for Elon. That's all I can say. Oh, they are on this right now. Oh, I should have taken whatever. This is what I'm saying. There's just so many opportunities to get fracking distracted with the goggles. I'm just,
What do you mean goggles?
I'm just over it.
Oh,
I'm not over it, but
well, Bill Ackman's very happy about this one.
Is he?
Dude, he has $3 billion.
So yesterday, I should have had this, damn it. Break over 93, triggers an extension into hundreds. Yeah, we're going hundreds, possibly 106s.
It's going to 100.
Oh, yeah, possibly 106. Likely. But yeah, definitely 100. 101. They're on July 18th. They're talking quickly. Oh, bro, they're on the weeklies.
Yeah, they must be bidding this shit. I would imagine, dude. 100%.
It's going 100. And I like Lyft. I mean, this trade it might take a long time, but that whoever called this out, like, I just kind of like fell in love with this chart, dude.
That was Nick last week, I think.
Yeah, whoever called this out, this chart just got me like, oh, I don't know if it happens or not, but yeah, the potential, it has to be kind of like just lotto-y, but like the potential for an explosive move is absolutely here. Unfortunately, it's got earnings at the end of the month, but the potential is absolutely there from a technical perspective. Fundamentally, I have no idea. But the potential is absolutely there.
Yeah, I'm beneficial. I think he's been saying Lyft for like 8 months. Nick, I think a couple weeks ago, got into this one. TDOC is his next one. You want to take a look at that? It's been a minute.
Yo, Again, I mean, so this one, there's a, you remember Livongo? Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
come on. Like this is what, like this is squeezy. So the market's just we're going dumpster diving right now, boys and girls. That's all I'm saying. I did kind of make a promise to myself that I wouldn't go dumpster diving this year. So I don't know really what to say about this. Like, are we really?
Well, hold on. TDOC short float is,
Oh, like 99%?
I'm going to guess it's like 15. Let me see. TDOC.
Why would it be 15?
I think it's 12. It's not crazy. 12.
Okay. Well, I guess because it's so dumb. Do you know, you remember this was like a $200 stock or something?
I was there the day
Oh, it was 60.
when they announced the
I have lines up here.
when they announced the goodwill impairment charge.
Am I on a ticker?
The stock fell like 40% that day. I remember.
You know why it takes so long? Because we joke, we have fun, but
Yeah, we do.
yeah, this thing is
Market cap. So, okay. So Steve, believe it or not, Steve back at the end of 2023 was getting excited about TDOC, and he had the same argument that the market cap is equivalent to the cash on hand, and it did nothing since then. So I don't know if that's the best argument because this stock doesn't have like growth or excitement or anything, even if
I
it's
don't think anybody uses this anymore.
yeah, who uses Teladoc in the chat for your medical needs?
No, they use HIMS.
Yeah, I mean, HIMS does telehealth stuff, even if it's not exactly like TDOC. That's correct. And HIMS is growing.
They use, like, we have Kaiser and stuff.
Yeah, dude, if I have to go to the hospital, I'd rather just go. Like, I've never understood the thesis that much, but they do like a couple billion in revenue, so it's not like it's a small company at all. Okay, cool. So TDOC, you're seeing a little bit in the chart, but
no, it looks like a squeeze play for sure. It's at the lows. I mean, if you could make a lot of money, I'm sure, but for a fun time, not a long time.
Okay, Micron.
I mean, yeah. So this is one where like we talked about this last week. I think we're seeing a lot of this. So again, big move, pullback. This white line, that's a 20-day simple moving average. I think we're seeing a lot of this pullback down to those areas. We get a little bit of base. You're going to probably hit about 127, which is where that first kind of failure point was. They've been doing a little bit of a stutter step here. So I don't know that it completely retraces, but here's what I'll do. So I'll take this level here and say this was that first kind of breakdown area. As long as it can hold, that's good and constructive. These things start to take a little bit more work so it might not be super fast. Holy crap. Quant is sending some sports plays. Shit. Do we have games coming out right now? Come on, Vladdy. I need MLB.
When does MLB start again?
Dude, there's 15 games a day right now.
Wait, MLB season is live?
Oh, yeah. It's been live.
People still watch baseball? I'm serious. Who watches baseball, bro? You're not telling me you watch a guy throw a ball.
I don't watch it. You can't watch 15
Yeah,
games.
of course you don't watch it. You don't watch baseball. No one watches baseball, bro. Dude, people barely watch basketball. You watch baseball?
I think you could get a dip and rip.
You know, I played softball when I was in second grade.
You know, I struck out in T-ball when I was a toddler.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. True story.
Dude, like who's the superstar in the MLB? Like, yeah, I mean, like maybe there's one or two you can name, but there's no like, no one thinks of. Like, I don't know. It's not.
You want to know? Okay, here. So, oh no, right now he's doing unders.
Sammy Sosa,
dude.
Who's that? Dominican baseball. Oh, he doesn't play anymore though, right? Oh yeah, he played for 18 seasons. Okay.
Well, our sports channel is hot, dude. And we are hot.
All right, so when is Vlad adding these freaking contracts then? That's all I care about. I just want the volumes.
I don't know, man, but we're going, and I don't like having to go Kalshi, dude.
Dude, screw Kalshi.
I mean, but what am I supposed to do here?
I feel you. I get it. Okay, so we did Micron. Can we do?
These are touch and go, so they're very touch and go. It's choppy, so you have to be very cautious. They're like day trade modes. It's not breakout mode. It's just not. They're going to build the base, so you have to be very cautious of your trade location and be very small because like they can break down. You don't want to see this. This is like, can I do a comparison?
Yeah.
Don't clock me though, please. Because you guys, he's going to yell at me. I know it. So the setup is similar to like, here's CrowdStrike 520 target, right? High, tight. But when you're at near all-time highs, you get this exhaustion, right? And it looks like, oh, trade's over, but it's actually not. And you get very close to it, but you start to build the base. Similar, Cloudflare. I've been fighting this one for a bit. We got high, tight, break, exhaustion. It's very close, halfway point. It could still come back, right? And maybe it gives us this. And eventually it happens, but these are choppy builds. So you might want to give it some time. Dell, SMCI, all the same, right? This Dell move, this is a big nasty right here. SMCI, it could be very similar. Like this thing, this did me so dirty, guys. It's just this stupid stock did me so dirty. But at the end of the day, well, I entered, it just went boom right in my face. It's gone sideways. It sure looks like it's building to do a little something. But if you get impatient and you're like, oh, today this looks very good. It looks very good, very constructive. I think it's possible it even does a little something like this. And then it does this only to do that. So you have to size very cautiously and kind of build into these things right now, because the next level on SMCI is 56 and then possibly 60. Shopify is 1. I'm just kind of going off cuff right now, where it's got the very same 220 or 120 targets, right? So I'm into my personal rapid fire right now. These are my picks, but they're getting them right now. But so, 122, 125 plus targets. Shopify, it has called and said, hey, look, over here, we're very likely to happen. It's pretty much happening. And I've gotten 1 call, 2 calls, actually highly probable. But every time it's come, it's kind of like done you a little bit dirty. So today it was like, you got to buy these pullbacks, these deeper pullbacks. Say starter, but this pullback, this is probably the better pullback to buy before it rips. So maybe you watch, but look at across the board. Yes, it's been building, but every time it's come here, this has actually been the base that they've built off of more recently. So this is not necessarily by the breakout, but find the area here where they've been buying. Was it prior resistance and now acting as support? It's kind of hidden in these areas. And so that's what my point was on like a Micron. It's still developing. And right now that support area that was resistance is more like this area right in here at 118s. Maybe even deeper 116s. So while that looks good, the breakouts haven't really been the best. That's what I go with on that. Cool.
Soundhound.
Curveball. So you got to these are squeezy, man. So squeezy. So you triggered I think it's going to be the same. Either it goes or it doesn't. It's finally over this hurdle. Your target's going to be here. Is it there tomorrow? I don't know how these stocks work. It's not my cup of tea. It can either come back here tomorrow to 1680 and do that, or it can just poof, go there. But that's your target, 15 and a quarter. Next. Are we on rapid fire? But I'm on to next.
Dude, I was muted. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is basically rapid fire now. Reddit.
Reddit got the big move, filled this primary gap right here, 158. They're coming in. So this was the prior resistance. As it's coming in here now, I'm kind of interested. What's going to happen? Very, very unusual activity. I mean, very unusual options flow. So I'm going to take this down. So resistance, resistance, resistance. Oddly support right into test it. It's not at any kind of critical level, but there was some really wild option flow on this Friday's options. So it's kind of like a maybe she goes and does the next one like right away tomorrow. That's what they were signaling. I say they as in the option flow. Does it actually happen? Who knows? 170 is the next spot, or 168 rather. 167 is here. Up to 187 to fill that last area, but it's got to get through. So we'll see. This is spiky, but every time it's popped since this last move in here, it's been higher lows every time, higher highs and higher lows. So that characteristic has changed so far on Reddit. And here we are. We'll see what happens.
Meta.
Meta. I want to spell it like MEATA. I haven't even been looking at this yet. Oh, I spelled it wrong again.
They should change the ticker to Zuck.
Zuck.
He's Meta. He is Meta. And he's been stealing everybody from Apple and OpenAI, which
let's take note here. Apparently that means that Apple had AI talent. Whoa. Game changer.
I guess so.
Interesting level. I need a better trigger. So this is that little wick here. Here's what this is coming from. So I'll just move this off the screen for just a second. So there's a little wick here. And as I pull this across, you can see this. And then a big breakdown here. So that's about 715 and change. Here we are. So the same kind of stutter step. It's actually over it. It's a day trader. This is a really hard one to swing. They want 720s. Why? Wow. Oh, 730. 733 is that last exhaustion candle again. So really, they're just looking for this. They, as the option chain, is just looking for that move tomorrow or this week. That's it.
Okay. OKLO.
It was looking good I didn't see it today. Ooh, she got shellacked at the 20. So I saw this overnight. It was looking good yesterday. No follow through this morning. Zip, zero, none, nada. Shellacked at the 20. So it needs some more time. Not broken from a structure perspective. Kind of holding this. But didn't get the follow through love. That's for sure.
It also made its move this year. I mean, the stock was at 5 in January, so it's like,
Yeah, but we keep getting the questions on NBIS too.
yes.
So why not?
That's fair. That's fair.
You never know. And, you looked at this, you could say, okay, it did break this little downtrend, I believe. Give the people what they want, Amit. Give them more.
Yeah, right.
This is a complex chart, man. I'm over here lining it up. So 52.17, it's not done. It's consolidating still. It's building something. Something's brewing, but you just need a little bit more time. It made an effort. A for effort. 46 days sideways. It didn't break down, but that $60 level and that 20-day, yeah, it needs a little bit more time.
Lululemon.
Ruru, Remol. So you kept the pants.
I kept the pants.
Are you wearing
this one, look, they took away their guidance, but like the chart feels like someone should nibble here if you believe in the thesis.
Key term if you believe in.
I mean,
Right?
if Bangladesh gets a 30% tariff, I think that hurts Lulu pretty badly.
Does it?
Dude, they get all their shit for like $10 from Bangladesh. They charge us 115 because of lemons as the branding or some nonsense. Like
That's
American
not the
capitalism.
branding. The guy chose the name because Japanese people had a hard time pronouncing L's.
I think you told me this story a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a retest. 233. Hey, it's oversold still, right? No, it's actually not.
Yeah, it recovered a little bit from the absolute bottom. You're right. Roy Crossroads likes this one as well. He thinks that.
Does he like their fans?
Well,
Or does he need
his daughter is like obsessed with this store, and he's just like, he thinks there's something here.
I mean, if he's buying, if he's sending money to the Lulu, if he's got Lulu packages coming into the house, he might as well donate.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at there's not a lot of interest here. I mean, I don't mind. They did what? This is like a UNH setup, dude. It is. Maybe it's a little bit better.
Me too. It's just UNH feels more deep value than this, but yeah. Okay, how about the one that I was just about to say? It is Big Bear AI. The
I
one
don't
that
even know what they do.
You don't
Do
wanna
I?
buy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do.
They do AI, bro.
Do they?
It's called Big Bear AI.
I know,
You
but
think
like
they sell ice cream or something?
AI is also called AI, and I don't know that they do AI.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. This one's had a good move the past couple weeks.
It has. I don't trade it though. I don't. It's a combination of like market cap is fine, but like I don't typically do crazy market caps like that, and I definitely don't do cheap stocks like that because I'm an options trader, and options are all about net dollar moves. So this is about net percentage moves, which is for equity traders, and I'm not an equity trader. I don't care about percentage moves. I care about dollar moves. So it's not something I do. And when you get this low in stock price, volatility is not reliable. too fast. It doesn't hold. It just, I don't know how to read this. I don't know how to read this chart. It's too whippy. I got nothing. If I said something, I might be wrong. I would be doing you a disservice, my friend, if I said anything about this chart. It's just not. You got to find somebody else.
Okay.
I'm going to take a hard pass.
JOBY.
JOBY. It's going to go in the same category, but
Okay, that's fine.
it's too cheap for me.
That is fine with me. I mean, again, a lot of these names are getting momentum right now.
No, like they look like Momo stocks, but like they're I just don't usually touch these, so like they're not in like I feel like you have to look at like weekly or daily charts only, like almost exclusively.
Yeah, you have to. There's no way you can go further than that.
Yeah. And these just look like you're there. So like I look at something like this or like a Big Bear AI, and it's like, honestly, I look at this and I read it and like, well, it could go higher or it could go lower. I have no fucking idea. So it's like, I would just be guessing if I said anything. And that's not cool because that's not what I'm here for. But like, it's just not like anybody could say that. And I honestly don't even have like if I took a reading here, it would probably be. The thing is, it's like it's at target, so you have to wait. Like I can't say anything until it's over this or whatever this is. Like it's right there. So until it gets here, and same thing with Big Bear AI. So just I'll just tell you the reason why I can't say anything. It's here. It's at my level. So I'm level to level. It's cheap. So when I look at a stock like this, I'm like, it's there. But I know that these kind of stocks, dude, it can blow through it tomorrow. And it could be like $50 tomorrow for all I know. But because it's here, it's like, that trade is complete. I don't know what to do. Big Bear AI, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, to me, it should be good enough because I'm like right there. Today's candle looks like exhaustion. I would be done personally. You're really close, but it's a $7 stock. Tomorrow, it could easily be like, boom, $10, $12.
Right.
You know, but what am I going to say? Well, it could also be $6 tomorrow because the way this thing moves. I can't get it. I can't really, that's a hard one to read.
So following that is Archer. Is that the same?
Oh, I was going to say following that is IREN, right?
IREN after that. But,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can do IREN first if you want to.
Yeah, no. And like IREN, I was like, this party's over. Same thing, right? $15. I'm like, that party's over. At most, you'd have to get over 15 is what I was saying last, or 16. And then, okay, well, the reason to me that party was over is because like, all right, well, first of all, I'm an options trader. The most I would say is like, okay, at absolute stretch, my target is 18. But for me to hold something from 15 to 18, knowing that I've had this kind of move, that risk reward is extremely poor for me, especially if I've just gone up like 1,000 or whatever that percentage is. Because I'm an options trader, I would have to assume that I'm doing options. If you're equity, I can't relate. I can't relate. So now I guess if you're here, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, if you're trading, take measures. If you're, I guess if you're, I don't really know what to say if you're not trading. You're in the wrong show if you're not trading. How's that? If it doesn't continue, then it's back to the next level down, which would be 16. And then you got to hold.
Well, for these momentum tickers, if you're not trading them, meaning you don't have a short-term time.
Yeah, like the next level is very small. They get smaller and smaller. 1850. It's like this. It's like you have to zoom out. 1850, 19. They get very small.
That's the thing. If you're investing in that, if you're purely investing in IREN for the future, then you shouldn't even care. But I don't think a lot of people are investing here. I think they genuinely just want to pump because it's already pumping. And you can't be sad if it dumps, but you also get the reward if it keeps going, right?
Yeah. I mean, but it's these are small increments from here. And I mean, at most you look at the chart. Okay, what was the other one?
Archer.
Same. So I think it was like 11. So you're holding 9. I think you just go. Oh God. And like the way, if I'm going to trade something like this, I just go for it. I take my shot, and either it pays or it doesn't. And I don't know how other people are trading these. And if I get paid, I take it all down. That's how I do it. If I do it, let's see, which is probably not the way that everybody else does it.
By the way, real quick, Donald Trump just filed to launch a Truth Social crypto ETF.
I think, did he do that earlier today?
Yeah, like an hour ago.
Oh,
I'm just seeing it right now. The ETF will be 75% Bitcoin, 25% Ethereum. So if you buy one share of DJT, theoretically, you are also getting exposure to their Truth Social crypto ETF. So yeah, there you go. Okay. Anyway, on Archer, you said it's the same as Joby to you.
No, I think no. This chart is not the same as Joby. It's not even close to the targets. Joby was at the high, right?
Yeah.
So Joby, you're here, like you're there.
Yeah.
So there's nothing really to do. Archer is not. It's here. It's consolidating at the height. There's something building. What? I don't know. I guess I can measure this. It would be like 16. So there's some kind of constructive something going on, at least on this chart. You have a lot of consolidation. This is the, can I draw it again?
Yeah.
The bony frill.
No.
The triceratops. So you have like one big pop, right? So far. So you have one giant momentum press through this level. This is a weekly chart. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. Massive consolidation so far. Really tight. You have earnings coming at the beginning of August. My guess is that you probably get another push into earnings, like a little pre-earnings run-up. Does it happen now or later? I don't know. Usually like 2 weeks to earnings, and that maybe takes you around $12, something like this, where it's stopped $12.50. It's possible that it could take you all the way to the absolute highs into $13.90, but it will become a show me story, and it's even possible that takes you to a $16.50 just on this trajectory, and that's. But if it does, then you're probably in trouble because you're coming in really hot for earnings.
Right.
But that's what this setup looks like. But this is extremely, extremely tight consolidation. And sometimes when you get a little bit something like this, you'll end up getting a rapid pullback right before earnings as well, because it's mostly going to price in the move coming into earnings, and then they'll be like, oh shit, it's a little too hot.
Right
into earnings, and they'll pull it back and reprice it.
APLD.
You promised.
Dude, you said give the people what they want.
I did not say that.
And give the people what they want. There's like 50 comments about APLD.
Did I? I did not.
We don't have to do it, but I'm just saying. It's what the people want.
It's going down today. Today, APLD is down 4.5%.
That's the TA. It's like, well, it's down today.
I don't know. I mean, it's just sideways right now. I don't have a read on this one. It's very similar. It's like this is going down until it stops. It was stopping here. It broke. This actually broke range. So you lost the 20 at 1088 and you're extending down lower. This is not a good look. It's not a good look. If you get a tweet, if you get somebody that decides that they want to buy this up for whatever reason, this could do that in a boom, moment's notice. If this was a large cap, I would just say it's a short, but it's not.
Right. Okay. That's fair. Oracle?
Our guys like this. Well, one of our guys like this. It's a little hot. There's a lot of news flow on this. It's not going down. I just like this thing crazy. Crazy. Holding the lows. Holding the gap. So we have gap rules similar to SOFI. So like this is a hard session gap we got. So this is a session gap. So it's there, but you can get a day two continuation. You close over 234. So that pre-market level 233 you really want to hold above tomorrow. It's a gap up. It's a gap and go holding. So you don't need to worry about this right now because this pullback into here, it might be good enough. You really want to see it holding over, what is that, 235 and change. Here's a level. Let's go this one. Oh, they're really getting there. I'd say 235 and a half. 235 and a half, then I really probably would not worry about that. It's getting gappy.
Okay.
They're on. Wow. They want this higher. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised today they took it up even high. I mean, it's already made a move, and they're not stopping.
This is what I'm saying. If this is the last hurrah,
I mean,
for these guys that are at the all-time highs. I mean,
well, I don't think it's the last hurrah, though, right? If you believe in AI, it should get to $1 trillion eventually. It's at 650, right? But Larry Ellison's the second richest person on earth now because of this.
Well, so okay, well, what at $1 trillion? Okay, so you guys heard it here first. Amit says it should go to $1 trillion.
Why shouldn't it?
So, what price target does the CEO of AK Media give Oracle?
It's like what? It's at basically around 480ish, 470.
So 650.
Maybe 450, I think is the exact price.
Okay. So how do we trade that?
You don't. You buy it and you hope AI works out. There's no trading here.
There's trading.
I wouldn't touch this right now because it's run up so much, but I mean, obviously maybe that's the best time to touch it because it's, all-time highs are bullish, but I'd rather buy more NVIDIA. I'd rather buy more NVIDIA. Like Oracle this quarter showed the growth. NVIDIA for the past 8 quarters has been showing the growth. So I would imagine Oracle keeps it up, but NVIDIA's not stopped. Yes, this is the real question. When will AK Media launch his own clothing brand? If I launch a clothing brand, it is jerseys on top of the hoodies. Like, it comes together. You can't buy them separate. It'll be like, we will make this a thing again. We are going to do this.
Do you want me to do that? I can launch it. So we're relaunching our website and all that stuff. To reorder the
jersey
clothes.
over hoodie, bro. If you ever launch it, jersey over hoodie.
Do you want to see it? I can give you the link.
Yeah, you should give us the link. People can check it out.
Here, how do I give it to you?
Just text it. Text it to me. CRN clothing. Dude, maybe the podcast Steve and I start is going to be called Currently Right Now. I kind of really like that name. I really do like that name.
What do you mean?
It's a thing. I say Currently Right Now all the time.
What do you want? You just give you the link to the clothes?
Yeah, just text it.
How do I
I'll
do
put it in the chat. People can check it out if they're interested.
All right. So it's like we're just throwing stuff together. But your hoodie's down there.
It's not an awful idea, bro. Jerseys over hoodies are
All
not.
right. Jerseys over hoodies.
There it is. All right, I'll put it in the chat if anyone wants to get themselves a Paper Gains hoodie.
Here's his hoodie. His hoodie is there. I was trying to get him one of these, but we'll work on it. Did you see this? Only gains.
Is this AI? Did you use an AI model, bro?
It's only gains, bro.
Dude, you are using an AI model for this? Holy,
What do you mean AI model?
It's an AI. That's not a real girl.
What are you talking about?
That's an AI, bro. That girl's not real. You're not going to tell me that girl's real, bro.
The girls are what?
That's AI. She's not real. This is not a real girl, bro.
It's only gains.
That's a good idea, though. I actually like that. Only Gains.
You don't like it? You do like it?
No, I like it. It's a good concept instead of OnlyFans.
I should it was much worse. There was a cartoon of me with anyways. All right.
Okay, let's do Broadcom.
Was that wasn't on the top ticker, was it?
No.
On the clock. So I think another one was like it's resting. Sorry guys, you guys had to go through that.
She's AI, bro, for sure. She's AI.
What do you mean AI? So like this measurement. So this was one. This is a good example. So Broadcom. Actually, this was the first rest, measured move here, pullback, then another rest. That measured move took us exactly here. One at a time. So now we're on a rest period. So this has to be measured. We have to wait it out again. So you're just waiting now. So you're definitely on a rest on Broadcom, but this looks like a little bit more of a rest. But that's what we're going to have to wait for. So Broadcom, this resting period so far looks like about 2 weeks here. This looks like about 20 days, give or take. You don't want to be trading it in the middle of a rest period. You have to be able to. Okay, so you're 14. You got next week. So it's next week, and it's probably going to be off of this 265 level. And just make sure, how long was this? 18 days. This last move, it's probably going to be into that 300, possibly up to 308, but it's going to be off of this 20-day, possibly into that 265. But the trade is probably going to be towards the end of the week, like this. He's not ready yet. And you definitely trade locations. What I'm talking about, trade location you take this year now? No. You're going to get shellacked. And the value of a short here is like, what are we doing? No good.
Yeah, it makes no sense here. Absolutely no sense.
So this is a sit. Wait, don't touchy. Touchy. Okay. Next.
Request right here for restoration hardware and.
Ooh. Are we doing this?
Let's do it.
I mean, I like these. These are at the lows. Not Lowe's. I went to a Lowe's recently. I was not a fan. Felt that it was a little overpriced. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I go to Home Depot on Sundays because I'm a man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you can't really be a man and not go to Home Depot on Sundays. So.
I mean, unless you're buying plants, like what are you doing?
No, honestly, bro, my mom sent me to get some planting tools.
Let's be real.
Oh my gosh.
We know the truth. This is a good area of interest. I'd call this like point of control. I don't hate this spot. This is when I don't think you need options here. This is all equity. This thing is like, if you like the guy, he's a little out there. But do you know this chart?
Not. I mean, I know the company, but
I mean, 7s, 4s. It's like the liquidity grab. It's really, you really want to see it over this 210. So I had to switch to a monthly chart. So this area here is what you call like your change of character. So 207.37. Honestly, once restoration hardware gets back over 207.37, then it's game on. And if it can get and hold over that, when I say game on, you're game on for Bigley. Bigley has been a word I don't know where, I think it came from somebody in chat. Bigley is Bigley. I don't know what that is. That's like that kind of move.
yeah.
But you got to get over that level.
Well, they had a kind of crappy earnings though because of tariffs last time. I think.
They did not have a crappy earnings, man.
I mean, the perception was that tariffs would screw them over.
Perception is the guy is a kook. Is a kook a word? He's cuckoo.
The CEO.
Yeah. He's a little Looney Tune. Not a joke. But it's trying. It's actually, so it's triggered. Like, okay, so I like the stock. I actually do. And I own the stock. But I think it's worth a shot. And it's building here. It's constructive over the 20 and the 50. And I think it does eventually get over here. But I know that I'm early. But yeah, that would be the trajectory. This is another one where it's like at the depths of the lows. It's not confirmed, but it's definitely built a base at this point.
Okay, Intel.
Let's mess with Lenore, guys. This is the quantum name, right? This is quantum play.
That's correct.
Is it?
Yeah, it's something. Chips, quantum. You put all of it together. Get Intel.
Ooh.
I mean, would it be crazy if they came out with some quantum headline? I don't think that would be crazy.
No. I feel like they have to.
This one has been a trader's paradise, just up and down in a range, right? Like,
I just don't know those kind of. I just like. I guess so. It is a different kind of trader than me. Like, yeah. Equity trader's paradise.
yeah, option traders. Probably sucks.
Yeah.
Like if you know it's gonna move 2% every day up or down, you can go short or long. Buy 100,000 shares in the morning, sell it 5 minutes later. Like it feels like there's That's why it gets all the volume that it gets.
Today's technical move lines up technically sound. Just tag that top, and I just magnet boom right to that, right on the 220, 50 squeeze. Yeah, squeeze level. It's not like a big breakout level, but this is what we call like a trend line break. They're not my favorites, but they can get kind of violent. I'm more like horizontal guy. So this takes you to 25, 71. Back to here. So it can still come down, which makes it a little bit more dangerous, but that's to there.
Okay, ELF, which has been getting hit. I don't know why, but
I don't know what was. I saw it down.
Does anyone know why ELF got hit the past week?
Oh, well, it's at Target. Target acquired.
I mean, it had a monster run from 50, and now it's kind of
No, it's at the Target. So what do you mean? Trade's over.
okay. It's fair. It's weird because like the other makeup, like Estee Lauder is doing fine, Ulta's doing okay, but I guess you're right. The trade's over, so there's not much more.
Trade's over. I don't think you have to. I think it's just. I don't think you have to sell it, but it's like the other ones probably became a little bit more attractive.
Yeah.
And this one just gets to rest for a little bit while the momentum recollects. It's probably not going much lower. Maybe to like 105s. Ooh, what the hell? But a little sideways, little rest action. That's a 50% retracement from here to here. So great job. Victory lap. Have a cookie.
Do you have any thoughts on Surf Air Mobility at all, or it's way too
What is
small? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. It's SRFM. It's been rallying like 80%. It's another small cap that's just pumping.
I just don't know it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
that one. Oh, isn't there a limit where like we get in trouble for saying certain things?
Yes, that's why. Yeah, let's just move on from this. But people have been thinking about it.
Quantum State, is that one where like you're deep in, right? 4.57 billion. That's big enough for you.
This is what QS? Yeah, this one's run.
That one's this is your biggest position, you were saying?
It's 99% of the port, dude.
Yeah, that and Lucid.
Correct. Dude, why is Lucid
lows,
still,
baby?
How are they still like who buys this every day? And like I don't know. Microsoft.
I've not looked at it. That is not Microsoft. What is that? Who drew that?
I think you drew that a long time ago.
I don't know. Oh God.
Not a good year outside of the other Max 7s. Is that a really good year?
That's how Microsoft does. Once a year it gives you like $100 or $200, couple $100, something like that.
Exactly.
That 200-week simple. It's a good one.
Yeah, this one's been stuck between 4.
Yeah, he's probably going to settle in around 475 at some point, and then sit there for a year, and then it'll go to 575. It usually it does that. Or is it going to be 375 later? No, it just came from 375.
Yeah. Okay, last one, and then we got to get out of here, and we'll do Bitcoin at the very end. Boeing.
I don't know that you dismissed this, but earnings coming. It's a hard one.
Earnings starts in 2 weeks, bro. We're right back.
I know. Boeing is okay. You want to spend a little time on Boeing or no?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, not the easiest stock. It's very headline dependent. Looks good until, planes fall out of the sky sometimes. Just what happens. And sometimes that takes the stock down and sometimes it doesn't. But there's the fact that planes and pieces of planes continue to follow this guy and the stock still holds up, that's crazy to me. There's this little blip on the radar right here. That is 217.66. This guy. That initiates the next move. I'm trying to move this. 217.66. Here. The next move is a bigger one to 225-ish. Maybe a little bit higher. Call it in 228s. Possibly 230. Yeah, we can call it 230. Roughly. Good enough for government work. So the next move, 217.66. Boeing clears that. She's clear for takeoff. Doesn't mean she's going to take off right away. I think she has. I believe she has. She can kind of like pull back, circle a little bit. But eventually that means that she's ready for takeoff. She has cleared. Now we kind of want to say, okay, what are we going to do? So do the same exercise. 209.66 is what I can see here in this box. This kind of area. One of two things. Either I get a, I've already gotten this today. Oh, son of a biscuit. Tell me when my shot clock goes off. Anyways, I've already given you the trade. It's already initiated. It's cleared for takeoff up to 228.30. You want to come, you want to get down and dirty and find the actual trade, exactly when, where, what have you. Come back, join the server. We're open for free. We do some stuff, but
I'll link Jason's Twitter right here so people can check it out as well.
Yeah, we're updating our links and stuff.
Okay, last one then is Bitcoin. That's it.
Oh, Bitcoin, gotcha.
It's been holding up, bro. 109, 110.
Bitcoin. Dude, I had this Freeport trade on. Sorry, I was checking this.
FCX, that's a trade you like?
I took it down. I had it. We had it from here. Went like 400%. But it was on a copper headline. So
Dude, oh yeah. So I didn't talk about that. Trump said he's doing a 50% tariff on copper today.
Yeah. But I already had the trade on from here. The trade was this. This was a planned trade anyways.
But did you know Trump was going to say that today? Or you like?
No, but I took it down. First of all, because it was very nearly my target anyways. It was open for like $100 and we went to like $380 in this span of time. But I know I smelled tacos. And I'm like, I don't know that I trust this. I almost want to inverse this trade right now. Like I'm smelling tacos.
Are we actually going to tariff copper 50%? Like, because
I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't, but at the same time, the whole market is like smelling tacos. So I'm like, yeah, cool. I got the trade, but the tacos.
Yeah. All right, Bitcoin. What do you think?
$109,588. It got there. It's really trying. I don't think that you thought that I was going to say it was probably a bullish dip last time.
Yeah.
I did on this Tuesday. Turns out that was a bullish. That's a Tuesday. That was our technical Tuesday. It's got there. It tagged it. It's the same kind of thing. So you're here. You're setting up. it's holding 10 days. You breached. I think it's en route, dude. I think this is, like I was saying, it looked really ugly. That was kind of like that fake out. I mean, what the hell just happened? I think we called this almost exactly last week, where it was like, hey, look, last week we were talking about this exact look. And we were saying, if the bears were going to take it, they should have been able to take it right then and there. But as we were watching it, the fact was that they weren't able to take that. And because of the way that this was setting up as a failed breakdown, that it might have actually been more bullish than bearish at that point in time. And it kind of was. And so that $109,588 even comes from this high. You still have to deal with this area. So no, it's not out of the weeds yet, but in this count, you're 1, 2, 3, 4. So if this was that last level, if I'm still looking, and then this is where it really was for any kind of pullback in this area, to me would kind of constitute that same trajectory. So any higher lows in here, I think are still, it's not overnight. This is a large thing. I don't think it's 150 necessarily, because we're talking about, that's a lot of market cap. So I do think this is going to be an extended mission, if you will. But what I will do is from this here to here, what I'm talking about at this point is more along the lines of, 120 and at most 125. But just this consolidation area here, it's always been, I guess, 120, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So measured, moved. That takes me 118,775 to 120,787. At most, it's 133. Maximum overdrive 133, but it's not a 150.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's on its way, but look, there's work to be done, and you kind of just got to let it do its thing. It's not like a, rip your face off moment until, it's working. What is that? 112, more or less. But even then, like this is large cap, right? So like even then, I can expect this, right? Kind of chop.
Yeah. All right. There we go, folks.
Appreciate it, man.
TT Jason's Twitter, his Discord, all of his links in the description. If you have any more tickers, he tweets about a bunch of them every single day. So you can check him out there. Obviously in his Discord, he has a lot of tickers and charts as well.
And the guy's hoodie, dude, his hoodie rocks. I don't know what to tell you. It's not from the kitty section. Look, if you lived around us, like in California, like it's just how it is.
If you want one of these hoodies, papergains.com.
Oh, yeah.
Shop
is it?
Is where you can swag out like I am.
Yeah, papergains.com. And then there's this. But yeah, we have to reorganize it. Then you click on view all. But it's all under construction. And it's somewhere in here.
I like the paper planes as the logo though. That's like a nice,
yeah.
It's a nice logo.
You should see the School of Games graduates for their final quizzes. The people that passed, like my partner's working on the graduation thing. It's pretty badass. But anyways,
Yeah.
it's cool. I'll show you when they come in.
Dude, do you wanna come to Miami in August? We're doing a little
What is
meetup there. Gonna be probably August.
What's in
23rd,
Miami?
24th. We're doing a meetup 23rd, 24th.
Oh, it's for you guys?
Yeah, if you want to take like the wife down for a couple days, enjoy Miami. Have you been? I mean, when's the last time you've been there?
My father lives in Sarasota with all the other retired folks. That's on the West Coast, so that you're talking East Coast.
Yeah.
So Miami, no. Never go.
Gonna be there. Matt's definitely gonna come. Tanner, maybe. I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah, if you're free, you can come through.
How many Lambos are we renting? That's the land of the Lambos, isn't it?
That is the land of the dude. Miami's a different level of rich.
Isn't it the land of the Lambos?
Yeah, it is. It's exotic cars, all that stuff.
Wait, we all get Lambos though, right?
I don't think I can rent everyone a Lambo, but if you wanted to rent a Lambo, you could.
I mean, everybody gets a Lambo. It's the land of the Lambos.
It'll be fun. I think it'll be cool.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, it should be fun. So, all right. If you come though, you got to dress up like Al Pacino. If you come.
Ooh, what about the Hood Summit?
So I am going to the Hood Summit in Vegas.
Is Vegas?
That's September 9th. Yeah.
Can I be your +1?
So I actually already have a +1.
Oh, dirty.
Literally yesterday, I got someone. So the same person
I don't even know how to get an invite to that.
No, but I know a couple people that like I have someone who messaged me yesterday who said, "Hey, do you want to be my +1?" And I already got the invite, so I can hit them up and say, "Hey, I have."
I don't know how to get. Do you apply or how do you even get that?
I don't know how they invite. I think it's random, but anyone can bring a +1. So if you're serious about going, like actually serious,
I would probably want to bring the fam though, because actually
you can still bring the fam.
Vegas because I have the kiddo too. So
no, but they wouldn't be able to go to the inside the Hood event, but they wouldn't want to be there anyway. But they can still be in Vegas. You can still take them to Vegas.
Yeah.
Text me if you're serious. I have like 3 or 4 people that are have a +1, and we can get you there if you want.
We'll see.
It'll be fun. It'll be it'll be a Hood event for you, and Vegas. We can gamble. We can do blackjack. It'd be good.
Blackjack's such a grind.
I'm bad at it. I'm
really.
Bad. I want to get better. I want to learn poker. Like I feel like I need to learn poker.
Poker's an even bigger grind.
Dude, we need to do freaking options 301 too. Gotta figure that out. We'll figure it out, guys. Definitely this summer.
All right. Ready.
Jason's Twitter in the chat. Thank you, Jason. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Adios. Later.
All right, that's it. We are done. For those asking how the meeting went for the Miami hotel, it went pretty strong. I mean, I think we're getting the place. We have a very, very close connection to the owner. Like when I mean close, I mean the woman who connected me. Like she's not really his cousin, but she's like his cousin. So meeting went great. And likely, though, it is going to be the 24th, from my understanding. They're still going to get back to me. It's not confirmed yet, so they still need a couple more days to have them get back to me. But it's going to be the 24th, not the 23rd, because the 23rd they're giving it to us for free, and the 23rd is like their busiest night, so it's hard for them to take away all that business to give it to us for free on a Saturday, but on a Sunday they can give it to us. So. Yeah, it looks like it's happening. It is one of the restaurants. The restaurant is closed on Sundays. They would open it for us for like however long we want. And the restaurant's beautiful, bro. Like they showed me it today and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Like I think it should be a legit experience for those that have never been to Miami, for those that have never been to a meetup. I mean, if this is your first meetup and it's in Miami, it's like you get the Miami experience, like a real Miami experience, and then you get the meetup experience all in one at this place. So, I mean, if you're legit thinking of like having a little vacation, it's the second to last week of August, like 3 weeks before summer ends. So if you kind of want to do a little vacation in August, this could be a pit stop, and it would be good. So yeah, it'll be good. When I get the official details, which I think in a couple days they'll let me know, then I will send it out to everyone who signed up on the link. I'm putting the link again in the chat. But yeah, this could be one of our best meetups yet, simply because we have a really dope location here, and it's in Miami, so should be fun. Should be fun. All right, that's it. Yeah, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow. No podcast tonight. Tomorrow, market open as always. Tomorrow's Wednesday. And yeah, outside of some of the tariff volatility that we had today that the market kind of didn't agree with, the Epstein stuff is just insanity, the stuff that's been coming out about that. But besides that, markets just didn't react to that much today. So I think the biggest thing that happened today besides the markets was this freaking outfit, bro. And I'm sticking with it, dude. I could have changed for the market close. No, I'm sticking with it. It's a decent outfit. It's not crazy. It's just not crazy, bro. It's a hoodie and jersey. Like, dude, if you go back to the market open chat, like within 30 seconds of being like, good morning, it's like, what the fuck is this guy wearing? It's just like back, boom, 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 boom. You barely talk about what's happening in the markets without seeing the comments. So no, it's okay. I love it. It's fun. It's how you guys get your coffee in the morning, right? You roast me, light roast, dark roast, whatever type of roast you get. But it should be fun. What are you wearing tomorrow, dude? I have no idea. I feel like I should double down, bro. I have another jersey and I have another hoodie. It would be tomorrow. It would be hilarious if I double down tomorrow. It'd be hilarious. I'm probably not going to, but dude, I just randomly decided to do this today. It wasn't anything serious, but it is hilarious that, it has that much of an impact. And I get it because, like, it's like for 4 hours you're looking at someone with like this ridiculous outfit. But still, wear 2 jerseys? Yeah, I should. I think one time for Palantir earnings, I wore a jersey and a blazer on top of it. No one really paid attention because Palantir was going up by like 20%, but I got away with it on that one. So there you go. All right, cool. That's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you everybody for being here. And yeah, I will get Miami details to everyone once I have them, and we'll keep going from there. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow on Market Open. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.